not even well planned out. They're literally just knocking out every journalist who dared to criticize Musk.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember if I've said it on this show or if I'm texting people this, but I never shared the Elon Jet links. I never shared location info. I just criticized him for banning the account because it was posting basically public information, and that's it. I mean, I always made sure that I followed the terms of service and the rules, whether it was old Twitter, new Twitter. I can't retroactively go back like Elon Musk wanted Elon Jet to do. Follow rules that weren't even made yet. But I bet if you even looked at all my old tweets, if you could find them, nothing ever broke any policy, past, present, or future.
Yeah, you don't even curse on Twitter, Matt. Like, I rarely even see you curse. Like, there's no there. How can he get you? It's straight up just pettiness.
Oh, it's all working.
Hi, Lance.
Awesome. Hello.
Lance, this is the least cherry I've ever seen you hop on a call. I feel alarmed when you're not smiling. Blair, so last night I was hanging out with my friend and I was explaining to them how Bahamians do not take lightly to Americans putting us in national news. And so I was giving the Fire Fest as an example, and somehow they live under a rock and had never heard about the Fire Fest.
Oh no.
So, right, that starts at a deep dive. And I type in Fire Fest. Second video I see is you.
Yeah.
Yes. So we sit down, we watch your whole video, and I was like, this is fucking excellent. I see why. I was like, I get it. I was like, I see why. Also, yes, this is fucking great. I was like, I can't wait to tell her this is some informative shit.
Thank you.
We're missing Matt Binder, right? Intentionally?
Yes, he'll be on an hour later, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So we can save the Trump NFT news for him, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
NFT
true. He
guy.
loves
Gotta be
crypto.
itching to talk about that.
Yeah.
Save the Trump for him.
Well,
do all of you want to do introductions just so I can play with the levels and get everything super amazing?
Sure. All right. Hey y'all, this is Blair of the Illuminati. Mainly on YouTube. Sometimes here. Hello. There you go.
Hey, I'm David Dole, host of The Rational National on YouTube and sometimes on Twitch playing games as well under the same name.
Mike.
I'm Mike Figueredo of the Humanist Report. Every single day I am posting videos, and yeah.
My name is Olayemi Olurin. You can call me Olay. Make your life easy. I am Miss Olurin on all social media. Lance, it's you.
Everywhere social media is sold, you can find me at the Serfs TV. Super easy on all of the socials.
Well, there we go. We've done it. Congrats.
Well,
Now what?
Well,
Illuminati, you do the intro. You were kind of taking charge last time. I liked having both an intro and then like questions to feed off. We should announce that. Hey, this is the first. No one's ever thought of this before. The first panel show on the entirety of the internet that actually has interaction. You get to decide. Well, you get to decide what we talk about at home. It's a choose your own adventure. All right. So all of you watching right now, what do you want us to talk about? Pogs, Pokemon cards, defective fleshlights, whatever it is. You choose. You get to pick.
Wow, that's a throwback. I'm dating myself by knowing what that is.
I mean, I'm down for it. And then yeah, let me throw at least in my chats the link.
Oh yeah, I gotta grab that
because I realize no one can submit anything if I don't put that in there. So let me drop that in, and feel free to fill it up with questions. I love everyone who submitted questions last time, but I assure you I will not be taking personal questions about me. So if you put those in there, they're not going to get answered. So please.
I'll take personal questions if they're spicy.
You'll take personal? Okay.
I'll take personal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will.
I love that.
I'll take
personal
some.
questions. I will not.
Listen, I love it. Come on, be in my business to my face.
You're going to make me have to read this shit? Which is fine. I'll read it.
I mean, there's limits to what I'll answer, but I'll take basically every single question.
All
I have
right,
no shame.
y'all heard it. Gates open. Come on in.
Oh,
I'm inviting it though now.
You are.
Let me start this episode by saying, last episode, I was not saying beats children. That is not what I was saying. I am not a proponent of child abuse. I was just a general proponent of general violence. I was saying that when you're young, you should get your ass beat talking shit by other young people, like had those experiences. So I just want to be in trouble for the right thing. General promotion of violence, anti-child abuse. I just wanted to clear that up. So all the people that were like, oh my God, I agree with you. Child abuse is fucked up. That was not what I was saying. I will communicate my general love of violence better in the future. That's what I should tell you all.
Are there any other controversies that we should address? Because I don't know if there are any others, but I didn't know that that was a thing. But I'm glad
I
that
just
you
want to
brought
be.
it up.
My friend told me like right at the end of the episode, like he was like they were so mad. They thought you was. I was like, oh no, that's not what I was saying. And then one of my followers told me on Instagram, and immediately I was like, no ma'am, I agree with you. I agree with you. Child abuse is fucked up. Don't be. I actually. I am not a proponent of beating children. I don't. I know my people usually are, but I myself am not a fan, and I just wanted to clear that up. Like, just want to be in trouble for the right things.
Well, I was gonna say we could use our powers of uncancellation to uncancel you. There you go.
Yeah.
We saved you.
This evening.
I feel like there's going to come a point where something that we say is going to be deliberately misconstrued because it's happened to all of us, but we just have to like get under the skin of certain people. And then they'll like take a clip, they'll boost it. I feel like soon it's going to happen. It hasn't happened to us yet, just positive things.
Someone said when we did the midterm stream elections, do y'all remember when y'all brought up Beto O'Rourke for a second, one of the polls that had it wrong or something, or we thought you read it that he was ahead, and I was like, oh, what? Somehow that right there, someone was on Twitter like, and she's a real Beto O'Rourke fan, and we should have known since she stands Beto O'Rourke. I was like, me stand Beto O'Rourke? I would barely recognize Beto O'Rourke if he knocked on my fucking door. Please don't lie on my name. I was merely curious. That's it.
Yeah, you didn't
People
even know
will
about the
take you out of
teeth, right?
context. They'll take certain clips. This happens. Yeah, I mean, YouTube comments. I'll read things in my comments where it's like, you should talk about this, and literally in that video, I talked about that, and they didn't watch the video. So
Yeah.
this is just.
That's
People are gonna be weird
literal
sometimes.
worst. When it's like, Mike didn't even bring up this. It's like, well, you didn't get to minute 9, motherfucker. Keep watching, and I addressed all of your points. I'm not gonna do a video and just like half-ass it. Like, check my sources, check what I say. That's the most frustrating thing. I would rather them like misattribute a policy position to me than say that I didn't say something when I clearly did say something, or vice versa. I hate people like that, and it's so common now. It's so common. But I guess it's par for the course when you're on the internet. I don't know.
That is the way of the internet, unfortunately, because people want, to a degree, things to be taken out of context, because people love drama and gossip and all of that. And if there's a way to stir something up, people will do it. And why? Because it brings in views. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
You are
Should we
drinking
give
tea.
them what they want and just say a bunch of out of context things that they could say it's bad?
Not to raise my one good blood pressure. Like, not me. Listen, I can't do it, because the minute they say on the internet, this is my head fucking spinning on Twitter to fight everybody and their mama. No, sir. I don't.
I'll
Just
do
let
it. Let
them
me
mute
just
button.
give them what they
Mute,
want, okay?
mute.
A couple of out of context, okay? I'm glad he's dead. She deserved that. Okay, do what you will with that.
All right, let us get into it this evening, shall we? So our first question, I know, is going to be about the Donald Trump cards. We're going to wait on that till Matt gets in, if I'm correct, if that's what we're doing tonight.
He's our resident
yeah.
crypto enthusiast.
Okay, cool beans. So then we'll hold off on that for right now. So hold those questions on Donald Trump. I promise we will address them later. Let's see here. So, oh man, all right. So questions are already coming in. Okay, this is about, I think, another streamer. Do we want to talk about other kind of people in our spaces or not?
Oh, so it's
Let's
going
hear the
straight up with
question.
drama. It's not
You can
news.
hear the
It's
question and
Well, it
vote.
depends who it is.
That's
Yeah,
Let's court it. Like, hear the question. If it's about other people, like whenever it's about another person and it might whatever that we might know, let's vote on it.
okay.
And the
that's
majority.
fair.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
the
fair.
question here comes from Winston, and they ask, thoughts on Destiny going on PragerU? Do we want to
but
entertain
you
this
don't know
question?
either one of the motherfucking people are.
Oh, I think
I know everyone involved. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment. I don't know if he's done a video, if he's been interviewed, if he's debating someone from PragerU. I have no idea.
Okay.
I just got to give shout out to Winston. Winston is always in my chat, always bringing the drama up. This is what he does.
Oh, I know. He's one of my mods.
He's one of my mods too.
Yeah. He spends half the show
always
trying
on
to stir drama for content.
Shout out to Winston.
I don't follow Destiny at all, so I don't know. I
Who,
don't know. I don't
Destiny?
really care what he
I'm
does.
not qualified
White
either.
people.
I think they're a streamer.
Oh, I know who Destiny is.
Yeah,
I've battled with Destiny quite a bit in the
I know
past.
who
but-
they are, but I
yeah.
don't follow them.
I
don't
just
know- I don't know
I
either.
know PragerU is a YouTube channel. and I know-
It's a very conservative YouTube channel that peddles misinformation and tons of fucking horrible shit. But again, just in good faith, I don't know. Like, I would be surprised to find out that he's done a PragerU video, the ones where you actually like stand in front of the
Right.
green screen and then you're like, here's why the woke mind virus is going to kill us all. I'm going to assume it's probably he went on someone's show on PragerU to debate them or something. I don't know. That's about
what I
as
would
good
guess.
faith as I can be.
Okay, that's fair. Then let's move on. This one specifically is for Olay. This one's for you.
Oh, okay. Questions.
Olay, like it or not, we have a prison issue. How do we simultaneously end incarceration and protect from the truly dangerous? This question comes from Roller Dragon.
I think the first thing you need to recognize is that the current system isn't there to protect from the truly dangerous or the dangerous at all. I think we have to like not work from that misconception because the question purports to believe that that's what our system is doing now. And the system has no concern at all for danger, safety, or any of that. It's a profit system that's just based on incarcerating, using, Black and brown bodies for certain things. And that's just a reality. It's not, we are okay. All these different atrocities and things we ask about only when concerning that question is only now coming up in the safety element once we are talking about poor and Black and brown people that are already being criminalized. But we have no concern for who walks amongst us by the rich or the white or the whatever. We know of all kind of far crazy things, and they just proceed to exist among us. So I think that's the first thing we have to recognize is if we want. And then I think the second thing I would work from is the majority of crime and what we think of as crime in our society is just not violent crime. That's just not true. Violent crime or people that are just like deranged or what we sensationalize it to be in media. That's not the case. What the majority of things are in our system, there are root causes that we as a society can address to avoid those things. And so I would say the first thing we want to do is if we want to, in any inquiry, and I think this is a mistake sometimes our side of the aisle does, is we will, when we talk about crimes of poverty, when we talk about that, we always want to exclude, we're like, oh, nonviolent, but only nonviolence, not violent. You know what I mean? We associate crimes of poverty to only be what we directly think of as with wealth, like, oh, you stole some food, you stole some this. But violence is a product of poverty in your environment and all these different things and all these different responses. And in any event, violence, at the end of the day, condemning violence doesn't stop it from reoccurring. That's what you need. That's what we need to understand. You can condemn violence all you want till you're blue in the face, but you have to contend with it and where it comes from in order to deal with it. So I would say if we want to have a system that deals with the truly violent among us, first of all, we have to recognize that we don't have such a system as it stands, and we are starting from scratch. And that analysis would have to begin with, well, where is this violence coming from? Why are these people committing this? And how do we address that? So that would be my answer.
Could I just ask, when you said that people on this side of the aisle are like a little scared to mention violent crimes and stuff like that, do you think that is because they're trying to win people over? Because it's the argument being, if I'm talking to someone, I'm like, we should release all non-violent drug offenders from prison, they'd probably be like, yeah, okay, but if I was like, and also some of them within certain conditions based on the violence they've perpetrated, they'd be like, wait, what? And lose them there.
I think there is a part of that, right? Like, because strategy, obviously, whenever you have if what you're arguing for, let me give you an example. What I'm arguing for is bail reform, and I happen to know that what the modest bail reform is that I'm trying to get you to support only happens to cover these non-violent crimes or these misdemeanors, I'm going to emphasize it because I know that that's going to be a winning point to you, even though in my mind, my heart of hearts, you know what I mean? It should expand to this. But I think there is a section of us that don't bother ever to explore at all, don't even bother to contend with the fact that violence is also a product of these things. I think we ourselves, most of us, end the analysis there, because when you say it to people, and whenever they even talk about, they'll talk about, abolishing, people who nonviolent crime or whatever shouldn't be in pretrial detention, or these kinds of people, crimes of poverty, people who steal food, who steal this. They make all these special caveats and stuff because they truly do have excluded anything they deem as heinous, because they're so focused on what is your moral outrage and your response to whatever it is you think falls under this catch-all. You don't bother to address the fact that it still comes from the same other place. Like, it's still, you still have to address it in all of the same ways. So I think some of it is us trying, some of us, in the moments we're making the arguments that are best appealable, but I also think it's, for the most part, we have it as a collective weighted into our conversation that violence is also a product of poverty and your environment. Yeah.
That is a very complete answer. I've got nothing to add to that. I'm right with you.
Thank you. I like to say, I do it for a living.
And add to it. It's all bad, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, I guess, not prison system, but still kind of talking about it. Another question is asking specifically about Measure 114 in Oregon. So the law claims that it's going to grant county sheriffs and police chiefs discretion to determine who actually qualifies to purchase a firearm under a new permit to purchase program. They did provide a link to an NPR article, which I'm going to throw into our little chat. So if you guys want to pull that out, reference it, whatever, I'm going to go ahead and give that to everyone as well.
I'll pull that up.
And when you do look at the article, the way it's titled is saying Oregon's LGBTQ community worries that a new law will keep them from obtaining guns. And so that's kind of our jumping off point here.
I'm just familiarizing myself on the fly here.
Yeah, no,
so
you're good.
The law, Measure 114, grants county sheriffs and police chiefs discretion to determine who qualifies to purchase a firearm under a new permit to purchase program. But Measure 114 lacks criteria clearly defining what disqualifies applicants, details on what makes someone a threat, and what the data can be used for in law enforcement in making the decision. Oh yeah, this is horrifying already. It's already got all the scary measures. I mean, I think, like, I'm speaking on David. I can lay you up here as the two Canadians on the panel, and I will say this maybe as someone on the left. I'm not opposed to people owning firearms. I'm not like no one should be able to never own a gun ever in the history of anything. No, that's not my position. I think it's totally reasonable because in Canada the system is you need a license. In the same way you need a license to drive a car, which makes sense. A car can kill people. You need a license to own a firearm, and you take a 2-day course where you get gun safety training. I think that's a totally reasonable approach. I wouldn't want on the other end of that the police, based on criteria that they have complete unfettered control over, to be able to determine who is and who is not allowed to own a gun. That to me is just a scary environment to be inside.
I will say in Canada they also do background checks to the point where you have to put down on the paper when you're applying to get a license who your significant other is or your ex is, and they actually call them and see if you're someone who should be able to own a gun and that there's no threat there. So they go deep, and I think they should. As Lance said, like, it's like a car. Like, why should you be able to drive a car without a license? You shouldn't. It's ridiculous. Why should you be able to operate a firearm or own one without a license? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I just think it makes sense to really dive into ensuring that you're a person that can handle a weapon and
gun safety is based and good.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the law is obviously a bad idea for a million of the obvious reasons. I want to say in general, the way our gun laws are already set up is to prevent other people, certain people, from ever having guns. Is the reason why they have the kind of criminal possession, gun possession charges they have, and they riddle the Black and brown communities with that. And there's a reason why they have illegal weapons in the first place, because the law is not permitting them to get it the legally way. They're already being denied permits and all these different things. So yeah, absolutely, this is going to be a further way to discriminate. And I also want to say the police have no business being granted said authority. I mean, the police shoot and kill, that they admit to. They shoot and kill over 1,045 people each and every year in America. So you know what I mean? And they have the highest DV crimes. Is absurd that the police would be given that. But yeah, the activists are absolutely right to worry. I mean, unless, if you think about it, if you go all the way back to Black Panthers, the Black Panthers coming up with self-defense, we're going to be a self-defense party. We're all going to be armed, is also what led to crackdown on gun laws in and of itself. But to the response from the police to change their name to Protect and Serve, and to paint this in this dangerous, violent way, it's always been the response of the police to target anybody deemed as activists in general, any level of public knowledge on that. But if they deem you as being armed, and yeah, they're going to try and prevent them from getting weapons. Also, additionally, just having to apply for this and put yourself on the radar of the police, like, puts you also in a particular position, right? You're giving them all of your information. They know in the case of certain people and populations. Yeah, obviously harmful.
Yeah, so I live in Oregon, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, I voted affirmatively for this. I don't like the idea of police officers being able to determine who qualifies to purchase a gun. But the way that the law was sold to us was kind of like, this is just more of a red flag program. And this element from the law in particular, if I'm remembering correctly, like the wording on the ballot was significantly downplayed. Like it was just more gun control, which I do believe is a good thing. Like I'm kind of Canadian in my orientation towards guns. So I agree with like, Lance and David there. But in terms of like police officers who are able to make that determination, yeah, I don't trust cops, and I don't trust that they are the best to judge people adequately, especially marginalized people who need firearms.
What I was going to ask was there campaigns? Because I know there's some bills that people suddenly vote for because they saw a lot of advertising, and it was like, oh, it was worded to me a lot different than that.
There was mostly right-wing campaigns. I haven't heard the counter arguments from leftists. So
all the sources I'm looking up, they are from pro LGBTQ plus criticism and the civil rights criticism, where it's like widely documented abuse amongst law enforcement to abuse their power when restricting firearms to citizens. This has historically obviously targeted black communities and queer communities, blah blah blah, especially queer communities of color, etc. Like it seems like something maybe that they wouldn't have probably put in. Maybe it just wasn't in the writing. Like I don't know what the ballot measure looked like for you.
Yeah, I have the book. I need to go back and look, because you know how they have like the arguments for and against and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't really remember, but yeah, framed that way, if I would have heard the arguments, I probably would have rethought it. But it's been a while, so I'm curious now to look it up. But I'm a little bit worried based on like the arguments I'm hearing that maybe I didn't do my due diligence before voting for this.
and in 4K too.
I have. Yeah, I have complicated thoughts or when it comes to the issue of gun control or guns in general, maybe in America, because I think there are a few different competing issues. First of all, I believe, like, regardless of how I feel about guns, like, I don't give a fuck about guns. I'm not somebody who likes guns myself. But when it comes to, I believe that everybody should, if we're gonna have it, if you're gonna live in a country that sensationalizes guns and Second Amendment, yada yada yada, it should be an equal right. There's no reason why white people could have guns and make it a whole sign of patriotism. And you can't see a white person in their American flag without their guns, and it's a symbol of patriotism. But every time a black person in a gun is automatically a criminal image, and gun possession laws and criminal possession laws and all these gun laws are directed at black people. That's just the reality. And the problem I have with not contending with what gun control is as is proposed to us in America, if you're gonna have the kind of regulation we should have, we should contend with the fact that America is like the largest manufacturer of guns. We should limit that shit. That's what we need to address. That we need to go on that level. But the problem is what white America continues to do is the gun control are just more laws that lead to the further criminalization of black people, and doesn't actually deal with the larger gun issues and the issues and the shootings and the masses and everything that you're responding to. In and of itself, all you end up doing is preventing exact same populations from ever being able to legally acquire something they need. Obviously, they should have the same right to bear arms, the same right to self-defense, especially when you live in communities in and of itself where you have more of a reason to need to protect yourself, and especially when you're heavily policed by a militarized police state. And then you can never have access to these, and they just continue to pass more and more laws as a form of gun control that only criminalize you. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I support it in theory, yeah, like in not this law, but in general, I believe that America has a gun problem. I believe this country is way too goddamn trigger happy. Guns should not be what it is. I don't believe that everybody and their mama need a gun and all the guns there. There's nothing, the Second Amendment, and I'll spare y'all an actual legal diatribe if anybody wants that in the comments one of these days on what the Second Amendment actually, like, we could go the constitutional interpretation of that and how in no fucking way, like, it actually could be read out of existence, because it ain't like it says, you have the right to have guns forever. It says in order to, form a more perfect militia, blah, blah, blah. It's based on a whole bunch of circumstances of then time.
It was a white militia, by the way. It's historically, they were talking about a white militia. That's the part that is not brought up.
They're also talking about a time in American history that does not resemble the way that our country is currently set up in terms of regular people, locale, whatever, needing these right to bear arms because they are the people that are going and defending these towns and XYZ. So it's a whole bunch of shit. You could technically read that right out of existence if you actually wanted to go to the originalism approach. But that's another conversation. But what I'm saying is, as it currently stands, we are not extending that right to Black and brown people while we continue to sensationalize and pump and fuel guns all around the place. And the only gun control we pass are just more criminal laws designed at punish and restrict, because that's what it'll be. Even if initially you think, oh, it's just a red flag law, it's just a system, it's just a check, right, that prevents certain people from getting guns. But what happens when people need guns, when they feel like they need them, or they feel like they should have this right to self-defense, or they live in communities where they do need that kind of protection, they're going to go and get them anyway, right? So now that they've been denied this, is a whole nother class of people that are going to end up exposed to criminal liability. So you actually haven't done anything. You haven't done anything to slow the production of guns, what guns are around, the actual danger. You've done nothing to fucking curb the issue. All you've done is further criminalize Black and brown people. So that's my diatribe.
Yeah, I mean, my views on this have certainly evolved over the years, because if I could Thanos snap all guns out of existence, I would do that. But unfortunately, that's not the reality that we're living in. So trying to navigate the reality of the world, I think that there are things that you can do to reduce gun violence. In particular, like Australia had a really good model to where in 1996, after they had a mass shooting, they had a robust gun reform plan, and they had like a gun buyback program. So trying to reduce the existence of so many guns, I think, is an important priority. But yeah, to Olayemi's point, I think it is important that people who are marginalized, who won't be protected from cops, arm themselves. And my stance has always been a little bit more liberal in my orientation towards guns in the past. But as I see like more LGBTQ plus events be targeted by Patriot Front and Proud Boys, and then you see the response from like Vets for Equality show up armed and anti-fascists, I think it's becoming abundantly clear that you can't show up to a gunfight empty-handed. Like, not that I'm saying I'm encouraging fights back and forth, but I'm just saying like there needs to be protections. And so like I'm not against gun ownership for sure. Like there's reform to take, but like in terms of this particular law, yeah, I wouldn't support it now if I could go back. But then again, I have to look at how I voted and specifically what I read about it, because on that one it seemed pretty clear, and I just read like through the little book. So now I'll have to do some research afterwards, and I'll report back next week if we can remember.
Did they suspended Matt?
Okay, well, I was going to say one piece of quick news. David Dole's power just cut out to anyone who's watching, or if you're still able to watch on David Dole's YouTube. No, you can't. Okay, well, David Dole's power just cut out. That's why he disappeared.
He lost power. Oh, no.
And apparently Binder lost his or suspended Twitter account. That's the other thing I saw.
His Twitter got suspended?
Yeah. They suspended Matt.
Binder.
I saw someone say it in the stream, and I thought they were just talking shit, and then I went and checked.
It's true. Oh yeah,
Wow.
account suspended.
Wow, that's fucked up for what?
Shit is getting real.
What trumped up charge?
I take your pick. He tweeted so many bangers yesterday. So I retweeted a handful of them, but I mean, some of them are still in my cache. Basically just the hypocrisy that, like, you know how much Elon Musk is flailing right now in public and, you know, in every possible way. Just consistently quote tweeting, screen grabbing, like clowning on him. Which one is still up? Yeah, remember Elon Musk's first Twitter files, the one about Twitter blocking links to the New York Post Hunter Biden story? Elon Musk is using the same thing to block links to ElonJet and other platforms right now. The exact same thing. Oh, welcome back.
Hey, sorry, the power went out.
That's so fucked up.
There's a snowstorm right now, so yeah.
Oh, no way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mood, we're getting some snow here in Colorado too, so I get it.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
No, not here in New York. That's fucking crazy. I am very upset for Binder. Does he get it back? How long is the suspension?
It says suspended, so he could.
Is it temporary?
So
I don't know. With
But
Elon,
Elon Musk is suing ElonJet too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, he
how
said
it
he's
is
going to. That's different than actually filing a lawsuit.
True.
Yeah.
But like he went from saying my commitment to free speech is so
No.
strong that I won't even suspend the account that's tracking me, even if it poses a safety risk, to now saying I'm going to sue them. I mean, Jesus, their hypocrisy is a feature, not a bug. Like they're just brazen about it. Like they're in your face. Like the hypocrisy, in my opinion, is kind of like a fuck you. Like, yeah, I said that and now I'm doing this. What are you gonna do about it? Who cares? I'm not gonna lose any support. I'm still gonna have my dick riders and my Sims.
Oh, yeah.
Deal with it.
But it's just like, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I understand better than most. I don't like when people talking shit about me on the internet. So I can only imagine, no matter who you are, even if you're a villain, if I'm the villain, I'm gonna fucking hate the whole internet on my head. And I probably would abuse my power in a little bit, right? So I could give him a little grace. Like if I for sure, I run a dictatorship on my social media all the time. On Instagram, the minute you say some shit I don't like, I click restrict. From now on, no one sees your fucking comments, bro. You don't know it, no one sees.
Love that
you.
restrict.
Like,
Sure.
that restrict. Oh, I love that shit. If Twitter gets that, it's over for you bitches.
Oh,
yeah. But if I ran Twitter, I definitely I wouldn't be mad. Like after when I posted my I did a Elon video the other day that went a little viral on Twitter, and they were like, and my friend was like, "Oh, you're definitely getting
Thank you,
shadow
difficult
banned." I was
truth.
like,
Sorry, we're just in the
"Fair,
middle of a panel right now.
earned." You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be mad at that. But if you suspend, that's you can't just be suspending people, like people's whole Twitter accounts and stuff, because you don't like what they say, and they're gonna that's a different level of like, this is fucking egregious. I'm like, okay, my guy. Like Bender didn't do anything like other than shit on you. And
Oh,
I'm
it was
also,
just clowning.
with the rest of the internet, and I'm like, I don't. Their whole internet shitting on you, bro. They booed you in real life. Fuck the internet.
Yeah.
Like
I saw that. That was so funny.
That was hilarious.
at a Dave Chappelle show.
Mhm.
So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not us. You know,
Yeah, no. Normies don't like him anymore. Yeah, he lost the normies. That's what that showed me when I saw that, and then like the cope afterwards being like, there was actually 90% cheers, 10% boos, and then a fight broke out. You see, 'twas a fight in the audience. That's why they were booing, and then he deleted both. I was like, that's so sad. This is the most pathetic shit.
And
It was all on camera, and then you could see the fight happen, and the fight was when Dave Chappelle was talking, and it was like not even related to like what happened with him. It's so embarrassing. He's so goddamn embarrassing. Elon Musk is. It's
He really
insane.
is. Every time I think he's peak divorce, he keeps growing.
Sorry, Blair.
he's the hello, like, what is it? How do you do, fellow youths kind of guy.
Oh, 100%. The Steve Buscemi.
Like,
Yeah. There was this article from NBC News. They spoke to 3 people who were there who booed Dave Chappelle, and 2 of them specifically said that they booed because they didn't like what he was doing with Twitter, and another person said that they booed because they didn't like how Elon Musk has been firing Twitter employees. If I'm remembering correctly, it's been a couple of days. So like these aren't woke leftists. These are just straight up his
They're normies.
tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the normies. So yeah, I love how Dave Chappelle too was trying to
I don't know if you guys know, whatever you're texting is popping up on your screens.
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was
wait,
like, don't say anything spicy.
Just so you know. Yeah.
in this chat? The one
Yeah,
we
like
have
you
right
see
here?
you see it on your face. It like it puts it onto your face.
Oh. That's actually hilarious.
Oh,
I did not
Binder
know
is
that.
here. He can tell us about the ban.
Yes.
Ban Binder.
Yeah.
Oh, the most banned man on the internet arrives.
I just
Your
expressed my
story.
solidarity with you, Binder. This is some bullshit.
Wait, I'm sorry. What happened? You were
They
banned?
I
suspended
just
him on
got banned
Twitter.
from Twitter.
Wait, permanently?
Okay, so, my power went out, so I missed that conversation. That's insane.
He's purging everyone who's ever spoken about who covers him. They've removed Donnie from CNN, Ryan Mack from the New York Times, Drew Hardwell from the Washington Post. There's a whole
Holy
list
shit.
of people who he's suspending, and it's everyone who covers the Elon Musk beat at various publications.
Holy shit.
I'm banned, baby.
Wow.
Is it like a permanent ban?
Probably.
That's what it says.
Oh, I'm
Oh
fucked.
my fucking god.
I'm so fucked.
He's really lost it.
Yeah.
Permanent?
He's really lost it.
That's what it says. I try to refresh Twitter. There's a little message that says, the weird thing is I'm able to get in to see my feed. I just can't
the
see
fucking
any
app
message.
don't work. Ain't
Yeah,
that some
it
shit? Because
says-
ain't no employees. Interface can't even block you right. The man done fucked the whole app up. He can't even kick motherfuckers off the app properly. The man is an idiot.
Everyone tweet out for me that I'm on so we can at least get the views on the Leftist Mafia.
Yeah. I'll do
stuff,
that right
you know?
now. I'll do that right now.
Oh my god, this is a train wreck. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was so close to 100,000 followers too. I was like just a few thousand followers away. How many
I'm
years on that app?
I'm really
Jeez.
fucked up for you. I'm really upset. Like this
That's
is
really
bullshit.
fucked. Yeah.
Hassan
Well-
just tweeted about your ban.
Yeah, well, if
Tell
only
him-
there was. Hold on, Sam Cedar is messaging me. A whole bunch of people are messaging me right now. I'm like,
That's
This is
ridiculous.
breaking news.
Wow.
Folks. Sorry,
We got
haven't had
the
our
most
first
famous
breaking
man on the
news.
internet.
We
I
do.
did see that Aaron Rupar was also banned. He's the guy that posts a lot of clips online.
Aaron Rupar was banned. See, here's the thing. I could see my live Twitter feed, like the people I follow. I can't see my own posts. How weird is that?
That's well,
is
they don't
strange.
have employees left to do that. So
I heard
That's
what was his
insane.
name? Ethan Klein said the same thing when he was suspended, or I guess he's still banned. That he could see the feed, but he can't see his own, or he can't tweet, but he can see the feed.
That's some
That's
fucking
ins-
bullshit.
Yeah, that's so fucked up and arbitrary. Like, there's no reason. It's just you're
Jack
criticizing
Sweeney,
Elon
ADS,
Musk. What a
Aaron
petty.
Rupar,
I didn't even
Drew
post any
Harwell.
links to.
I'm
I didn't
feeling
post-
wildly litigious. Like this feels fucked up. Like I'm like, what? Like
bring back the Stormfront guy, but ban Matt. Got it.
Yeah.
I didn't post any location data. I didn't share the links to any of those sites. I followed the rules. All I did was criticize him, like he said was
What was the
fine.
reason for the
I
ban?
mean,
What did they give you?
They don't tell me nothing yet. I didn't even get an email. It
Mm.
just
Oh,
says
okay.
I've been when I try to log in, I basically get a message that says your account is suspended and is not permitted to perform this action. Like when I try to refresh or whatever. But I could see my feed of people who I follow.
Elon rushed into Twitter headquarters in the dead of the night to block you personally. That man went there with his robe on and bedroom slippers, like, get out of the fucking way.
Oh, wow.
Someone in my chat, Tony's saying Donnie O'Sullivan as well. Isn't he that CNN guy that interviews
Yeah.
like
All of
Come
Taylor
Megan
Loren's
Freak.
tweets just disappeared. Taylor Loren's entire Twitter account, all
He's
the tweets
doing
are
the
gone.
purge as
He's
we-
doing the purge. We're witnessing the purge live.
that's crazy.
Oh my god. Uh-oh, somebody just posted him and Jizz Lane. They're gonna be gone. I see that through my
Everyone
feed.
should fucking post that image. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Free
everyone-
speech.
The only reason I'm still on this shitty platform is because news gathering and like clips go of like shit that I have to cover, right? So otherwise I would be off this garbage. Like I don't need to be on
Yeah.
Twitter. There's no reason
Yeah.
except that I do this fucking job.
And to
Yeah,
make
same.
his life worse.
And someone in my chat saying, meanwhile, Elon's tweet doxing that kid is still up. I don't know what that's about, but if he doxed somebody, yeah, that's fine.
So he basically claimed, this is where the story gets really interesting yesterday, that he was attacked in his car with his children in the vehicle when someone jumped on top of his vehicle. And then he posted a video of him, I assume it's him, filming someone who's wearing a mask and then saying, does anyone know who this is? And then he films the person's license plate. The weird thing is that like now there's other groups potentially associated with government agencies that are saying that based on their tracking of the GPS that he was not actually at that place at that time. So something isn't adding up as of right now. It's all very weird. It's also dangerous because if that person, I mean, that person could have been the person who jumped on his car, could not be, but we've seen the power Elon has now to basically label someone, say, like a pedo, like say, what is it, the head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth. Like, I'm not here to defend CEOs and millionaires and fucking of corporations and giants, but by Elon saying that this person is a pedo, look at his PhD thesis, it proves he's a pedo. When the PhD thesis had nothing to do with being a pedo, it was that queer kids go on Grindr. We should acknowledge this and do something about it. Because they will do that. That's the real world. That's what we live in. That's what his PhD thesis. And then he's like, yeah, it's because he's a groomer. Now that person got so much death threats and hate that they had to move. Like he has the power to swarm people if he wants to. His political enemies, his business enemies, anything he wants. It's a boy with a toy, and he's playing with this toy like you would expect a dictator to right now. Except it has the power to destabilize countries and do revolutions. We have a billionaire evil dictator who has the power to do that kind of stuff.
And
As
isn't he
much
just
as-
like losing all that money? Like that 44
Oh,
billion. I mean, it was already worth like, you know, not even half that at this point. But now you're really killing the platform. Like at this point, you're really burning that money by doing shit like this. Like why would people stay?
Yeah.
Why are advertisers going to stay? Why is anyone going to stay? That's relevant.
Yeah. Did you see that he actually personally calls chief executives if they suspend advertising to like berate them? And so this
Yeah.
led to other corporations essentially just like reducing ads to the bare minimum so as to go unnoticed and not get a call from Elon Musk. Like everyone just doesn't want to associate with him because he's such a fucking weirdo, but you're kind of attached because if you sever that tether, then he's going to call you and berate you personally. I mean, what a freak show. What a freak. I'd rather, honestly, Twitter just completely go the way of the dodo at this point, based on how he's seen it. Like I use Twitter. I like Twitter. I use it for my show, like David also. But I mean, at this point, it just it's so bad, and I kind of want it to go down just as a fuck you to Elon Musk too.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to point out, when Matt Binder went on Tim Pool's show, he was debating and arguing with Tim Pool, and at one point Tim Pool brings up this whole free speech argument, and then Matt Binder was like, well, yeah, I sometimes feel that Republicans just want to say the N-word, and Tim Pool's like, no, we don't. As soon as Baked Alaska was allowed back on the platform, one of the first things he did was post a poll, should I say the N-word, yes or no? And obviously his audience was like, yes! And then he got roasted, like, nonetheless, because he was, like, spewing a whole bunch of anti-Semitic nonsense at the same time. So, Matt, I'm glad you got proven right in real time with one of Tim's friends.
Yeah, is Tim Pool now going to say that it's a right-wing outlet? Because that's what his argument was. His arguments were the opposite before. There was like a pro-leftist, like the TOS is baked in because misgendering is considered hate speech. And since right-wingers don't accept the identity or the legitimacy of trans people, then that's inherently biased against conservatives. When it's like they have religious protections too and whatnot. But is Tim Pool going to come out and say that it's now officially biased against the left? Because it's very clearly more biased than it ever has been.
Well, no.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
it's so ridiculous that this is going on right now. I mean, what is going to be the response? Like, how do you just? It's not even like it's not even well planned out. They're literally just knocking out every journalist who dared to criticize Musk.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I've said it on this show or if I'm texting people this, but I never shared the Elon Jet links. I never shared location info. I just criticized him for banning the account because it was posting basically public information. And that's it. I mean, I always made sure that I followed the terms of service and the rules, whether it was old Twitter, new Twitter. I can't retroactively go back like Elon Musk wanted Elon Jet to do, follow rules that weren't even made yet. But I bet if you even looked at all my old tweets, if you could find them, nothing ever broke any policy, past, present, or future.
Yeah, you don't even curse on Twitter, Matt. Like, I rarely even see you curse. Like, there's no there. How can he get you? It's straight up just pettiness.
It doesn't tell you like why you were banned or like what offending tweets or whatever.
It doesn't say nothing. I didn't even get an email.
I told y'all Elon did that shit personally.
Yeah.
There's no formal notice. He did that like, fuck Matt. Like, that is what happens, okay? Like, oh yeah, that's some bullshit. That's the thing is there's no longer, from the minute Elon took over, it's clear they're no longer a Twitter rules or service or none of that shit. Like it's just whatever Elon wants to fucking do. And that's apparently wage war on child. I want to say all of us, but I don't want to put my Twitter account on notice with I'm not gonna take it so smooth if you take my Twitter account. When they came on here real smooth, I will come on here like Franklin in season 5 carrying the fuck off. Fucking problem, okay? I talk about act of fucking fool. I'll be on Instagram calling that I'm bad.
That's the thing. I should have spent more time on other accounts. I mean, I regret spending all this time on Twitter now.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bunch of people following me on like
Ruth?
on like Instagram and elsewhere, but I don't post on there. I guess I got to start.
Yeah.
You can post on your
honestly
YouTube
just
channel.
like Twitter, honestly, to be fair. I mean, YouTube.
That was me too. That was me too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mastodon was banned too, by the way, a competitor to Twitter. I don't know why though.
Like a link to their account or a link to
The official Mastodon Twitter account.
they were banned.
Yeah, they were banned.
Yeah, today.
They shared the
Come
Elon
on.
Jet.
How could
They
anyone
shared the link to
defend
Elon
you're
Jet.
banning competition?
Yeah.
Come on.
But
What
see,
a
I didn't even
fucking
share-
fucking
you know
clown.
what
I
I
hope
sh-
Elon's
you know-
listening. Fucking clown.
you-
You're a fucking clown.
You know what I shared?
Piece
I
of
shared
shit.
the
We're all banned.
I shared that post that Donnie posted from CNN before he got banned. Did you guys see that?
No.
No.
Okay, so Donnie from CNN, Donnie O'Sullivan, he covers like, the right, and he's the guy who usually
right.
is on the street at the Trump rallies and stuff. He reached out to the LAPD and they gave him a statement on the Musk incident. LAPD's threat management. And remember, Elon Musk said he was accosted. His car was accosted. He blamed Jack Sweeney's Elon Jet account, which tracked his private jet, and and he said that his car was attacked with his kid in it or whatever. And the LAPD said LAPD's threat management unit is aware of the situation and tweet by Elon Musk and is in contact with his representatives and security team. No crime reports have been filed yet. So there was no police report. I mean,
just be lying.
That's
You
why.
just be lying.
I don't know.
You just be talking shit.
I don't know how rich people do it. But as he said he was gonna take legal action against Jack Sweeney, the 20-year-old who's running that Elon Jet account on other platforms. But how you didn't even file a police report. No judge is they're gonna think it didn't happen. You got to file, at the very least, you got to file their police report so you have the paper trail.
He's not doing it because he doesn't intend to do anything other than give his little people on the internet something to suggest that there's something real, or he's the one that's really in danger. That's how he's trying to switch the narrative, because he's in trouble, because he's literally attacking trans people and all this. So that's how he tries to re-victimize himself. He has no intention of doing anything legal. He's just talking a whole bunch of shit, just a bunch of bullshit in his app for people to say. That's the use of my child. My child was in the car, like he be with his fucking children. Give me a fucking break. Like, that's lying, just lying.
Well, he has to live with the fact that most people see through him. Most people see him as a fraud. And the only people who accept how uncharismatic and uncreative and stupid he is are right-wingers. Like, that's the only tribe that would accept him. The dumbest people ever. When he wanted to be like the next Iron, or like a real-life Iron Man, he wanted to be seen as like this great entrepreneur who'd take humanity to Mars. But no, he's just a shit poster who right-wingers like, because they're he's letting them back on. So he's pathetic and sad, and he has all the money in the world, but he can't buy love and support from people, real people.
And he looks like condensed milk.
And
that part.
He looks like a No, I got one. He looks like the stock photo that is used in the Tinder ads for the swipe left part in the commercial.
I don't think that though. All right. Well,
I gotta say it's a good list. It's a good list to be on. Donnie O'Sullivan, Ryan Mack, Drew Harwell, Micah Flea from Intercept.
Rupar, Mastodon,
mainstream media request to come on. Like, I could see CNN like contacting you. I mean, like, about this shit.
It's really nice that you're here, because like the viewers went up to like 700 instantly, because it's like, oh, the banned Matt Binder, the most censored man on the internet.
Too hot for Twitter. Censored.
Holy shit! My viewers on Twitch went up too. There's like multiple of us streaming on Twitch, and
I mean, I didn't.
It's all Matt.
I wish
Matt's
I had
hot right now.
Story. I wish I had an interesting story, other than I've been critical of MUSK'S for a long time. I mean, people don't realize. I don't think people know this story, because I've been tweeting a lot about NXIVM lately, because of people like James Lindsay, who's apparently very close with NXIVM's Nikki Klein, who helped groom women for Keith Raniere, the convicted sex trafficker who ran the NXIVM grooming sex cult. And people don't know this story, really, I don't think. But in 2018, Elon Musk was going goo gaga over to this website called The Knife of Aristotle, saying how this is how, this website is how, he said it inspired him that he should get, start his own media organization, because this is how like the news should be done or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it says, but he was like thinking it was a great website. Turns out that The Knife of Aristotle was a propaganda outlet for NXIVM. It was run by members of NXIVM so they could control the narrative and fight back about bad press about their sex cult. This is before Keith Raniere went to jail. So he literally was adoring this fucking cult's propaganda outlet and saying how it was a wonderful example of good media. So I mean, this is what he wants, this is what he wants. This is who he is. And, I guess next you'll see him tweeting Nikki Klein on Twitter and talking about how Keith Raniere should be free, and the FBI planted all that evidence where he was grooming and raping 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds and branding women like cattle. I'm sure he'll say all that stuff was planted by the FBI next.
See, I didn't even know about that. I thought that the Ghislaine picture was incriminating enough, and the accusations of other people being pedophiles was incriminating enough. But one thing that's ironic about all of this is last week he tweeted the "Follow the Rabbit," which is essentially a QAnon
Yeah.
rallying cry, and then people on QAnon messaging boards were ecstatic that Elon Musk might be one of them. And it's so bizarre to consider, like, this group who thinks that there's this elitist cabal of pedophiles who's drinking the blood of children is ecstatic that Elon Musk, pictured with Ghislaine Maxwell, is now one of them. Like, he's the person who you should be suspicious of, right? I mean, if you think that Hillary Clinton is sucking up the adrenochrome from these kids, then Elon Musk has got to be orders of magnitude more guilty. I still understand it. Like, freaks love him, and that says a lot about him. These are the people who he attracts. Freaks flock to him like stank on shit.
Absolutely.
Well, youtube.com/MattBinder. Everyone should subscribe to me there.
There you go.
Patreon.com/MattBinder. Twitter was my main platform that I posted on. So, 100,000 or close to 100,000 followers. I basically probably have to start all over again somewhere else. So I'm in Instagram.com/MattBinder. I don't know what else to promote, really. Those are I guess the newsletter.
Yeah.
I have a Substack at misinfo.substack.com, like misinfo as in misinformation, MISINFO. Subscribe there. I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. Just bizarre turn of events.
Yeah, Twitter's not going to be the same without you. Like, you post some bangers.
Yeah, well, it's
Well,
okay.
we
It's
have
all
a
right. I'll be
question for
fine.
Matt.
What really gonna suck is when I wake up tomorrow morning and I usually just grab my phone and see what's going on. That's when it'll hit me. That's when I'll be like, "Fuck."
Matt, do you want to share my account? We'll make it a Mike and Matt account. I'll just give you the
Now, then
password.
you're gonna be,
And
then
you'll
you're
be suspended
definitely gonna
immediately.
be- then you're
That's
definitely gonna
true.
be suspended.
Well, it'll be
Yeah.
like one of those couple Facebook accounts, but instead just like two people just like, no, Matt's back.
I hope you got your account back. This is some bullshit.
I know, that's so fucked up. I'm
so
genuinely disappointed.
I'm like sick for you. Like the work that goes into building a platform, and we are around the same amount of followers. So I
To hit
understand,
100,000?
I feel deeply.
Organically with no bots or anything. I mean, I think don't they
like,
people who track social
like,
media, they value
yeah.
that at like it's like that's almost worth like 90K or something to have an account that huge, because
Yeah.
you have the ability
Yeah.
to spread information on a very large
Millions.
platform. Yeah. I have your last tweet, by the way. Hassan
Because we
posted
actually
it.
have to build our own platforms.
Right.
Unlike the right, we actually have to build our own platforms. Like, we don't have fucking bots and shit. Like,
We don't pay for advertising. Like, we don't do any of that.
Someone contact my buddy Tim Pool and ask him what's going on. I mean, hey, how many lefties does he have on the show? I mean, it shows that I'm one of the few who reach out and contact and interact, and I'm totally open to talking with people. That's what Elon Musk wanted, right? Free speech. Hell,
Marketplace of ideas.
I even said I agree with the idea that people shouldn't be permanently banned. I believe everyone should have like a amount of time and then be brought back. And if they break the rules again, then ban them again. I also agreed with his idea that people should know whatever filter or shadow banning they have on their account, so they could fix it and stop tweeting a certain way if it's breaking the rules or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, those are the only good ideas he had. The rest of everything he wanted to do sucks. And if this is what he wants, I mean, I can't imagine. I think this is a major step in people changing their mind about this platform. I'm not saying because of me. I mean, the aggregate of it, and I'm sure there's still people being banned. I mean, everyone who dares to report on or criticize Elon Musk, even if they're following Twitter policy, gets banned. I mean, how does that work? The whole point of Twitter is that it's a politics and news media outlet, more so than any other social media platform. Without that, this platform dies. Like, that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of it. People could go on Facebook and Instagram to do entertainment and post pictures and video. That's what those sites are for, honestly.
Let the record reflect that Tim Pool is this week's white person y'all are discussing that I do not know. I just wanted to add him.
That's going to be a current theme. He's known as the Beanie Man. Some say he's more beanie than man. We don't know if the beanies become sentient or if it controls or poisons his mind. There's theories that perhaps it's actually like he's like Superman in that instead of wearing like a costume, he has beanies. He only wears a black beanie in everything you will see him do. I don't know if he showers in the beanie. I don't know if he poops with the beanie. We don't know. We don't have that information. But was he born with the beanie? We may never know. You know, it's a tough thing. But that's always easy to remember. He's got like top, I would say, next to Crowder and a couple of their accounts, 2 or 3 of the largest political YouTube channels in existence. And he's got an entire compound that he has with the skate park and all his, like, you know, he calls them his friends, but there's employees because they all work for him. So he's basically got like 30 employees who live with him, who are also his friends and family that he pays and gives instructions to. And then he does all his propaganda from there. But it's a rotating cast of white supremacists. I don't think anyone realizes how intense Tim Pool's fucking cast is, but it's nuts. He had like a Christian fascist. He had on a neo-Nazi, Nick Fuentes. He had on, then it was like Milo Yiannopoulos, and then it was like, oh, here's John Doyle, Jack Posobiec, an avowed white nationalist who does a fucking shit ton of like, it's just like a rotating cast of fucking the worst of the worst. Like, it's wild that it's like, it's so popular and he gets away with it because not a lot of people like call that out. I don't know what it is.
But he's a centrist, though. Remember,
yes, sorry. Milk Toast Fence. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grow wary.
Yeah, I feel almost guilty introducing you to all these folks.
I don't know how you've avoided this for so long.
I really like... it's unbelievable how often I don't know who y'all talking about. Like, I'm like,
He the dude though that like did that kind of like a music video song that was reminiscent of like Creed from the year 2000 or something.
He's got 2 now. 2.
Oh,
well, technically, technically 3. Technically 3. He's got the animated one. Yeah,
I did say Creed.
Now I know enough.
That's
you should be embarrassed. I know enough to know.
I understand it.
When embarrassment should befall us.
Well, no.
Play a song, right?
That's an embarrassment to Creed, if we're being completely fair, and I'm not saying something. All right, I'm not a fan of Creed or anything that Creed does, but like this is very. It's like I called it Rage with the Machine because it is very like, you know, they are working against us, but we uphold the structures of power, like shit like that. You're like, what the fuck? Like, it's negative punk rock. You know, it's to the opposite of anyone rebelling. It's like conformity, conformity.
One of my high school and college ex-boyfriend's favorite band was Creed, and
ouch.
I just wanted to
so
express the shames that I am living with just by having been adjacent to. Like, and I will not take any follow-up questions or inferences that you may make about that information. You leave that there. Like,
just to update, Keith Olbermann's also been banned now.
What?
Well, why is Keith Olbermann been banned?
He was going after Jackson Hinkle today. It was fucking hilarious.
That appears to be the reason.
So
what a soft bitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But seriously, it's
like
ridiculous.
Trump with the power of Twitter, like that's
yeah.
what Trump would do if Trump controlled Twitter.
I'm like, so about this banning thing, this on because I talk shit on him like, if he didn't get to me like 2 days ago, viral video, I'm good. Am I in the clear? Like, I just want to know if, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, is it coming in now? Is it in the list that he just hasn't got to O? Because you know what I mean? I'm like, hold on, like.
Okay, I do have some breaking news. Glenn Greenwald is responding to all of the bans, at least to Aaron Rupar. But this is
no way. Let's see.
So before I do we want to take any guesses? Is he gonna be pro-free?
Oh, of course.
Like,
Someone ask Glenn Greenwald how he feels about me getting suspended. Someone who worked with his good buddy Michael Brooks, who when he listened to the Majority Report of Glenn Greenwald, said to Sam Cedar apparently that he's he loves hearing Michael and Matt because he thinks they do a great job. Ask him how he feels about me. I know he's not a fan of mine anymore, but he used to think highly of me, and I used to think highly of him too, actually.
My vote is going to be squarely in that he's going to mock the people who got kicked off, because that's what he does. He's going to make fun of them in their own words. That's what he always does with this shit.
he's tipped his hat to me before because he says how I engage with people because he saw me debating Michael Tracy, Tim Pool, and he says, you know, kudos to Matt for engaging. I mean, what is he gonna say? I would love to know. I'd love to know what he thinks about. Yeah.
Well, pull it up.
Hey.
Well, this isn't about this is about Aaron Rupar, not
wait,
necessarily you, but just in general the bans. So he says, what happened to private companies have the right to disassociate themselves from anyone they want? Have you ever heard of the terms of service? If you don't like how Twitter does content moderation, start your own social media site. Remember all these arguments? That's his response.
What terms were broken? That's my response. What fucking terms were broken? It's one thing to have a terms of service because people are on there, you know, spouting horrible racist shit or dangerous shit, doxing, that kind of thing. But Bender clearly obviously wasn't doing that.
TYT, thank you for the massive raid. Welcome in, raiders.
From, like,
my name is Lance. Welcome. We have a panel of amazing people on right now. Follow every single one of them. Their information is in the chat, and we are currently talking to the one and only banned Matt Binder right now.
Put it in the TOS.
Sorry, we just got a huge raid from TYT, so I was just saying thank you for the raid. And also, we have the most banned person on the internet right now, Matt Binder here. So
yeah, well, man, too hot.
Silence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subscribe to Matt Binder.
It's really
YouTube.com/Matt Binder, Twitch.tv/Matt Binder, Instagram.com/Matt Binder. I'm pretty much Matt Binder on every platform.
The ridiculous thing about all the Elon Musk dick riders that continue to be behind him when he's obviously making ridiculously catastrophic, hypocritical decisions in plain sight is that at the end of the day, they don't actually want all of the left banned off Twitter. That's the only reason why they want to be there is to see what we're doing and fuck with us. If that was the truth, they would go be happy on Truth Social, but they don't fucking like it there, right? Like they have Reddit, they have Truth Social, they have the YouTube comments, they have other fucking places on the internet, but they want to be on Twitter because that's where we be. So I'm like, at the end of the day, they don't really want us off Twitter. So I'm like, y'all might want to tell your boy to chill the fuck out. You might want to. Because you're not going to like it when you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, when you got to go find and search it out. Because at the end of the day, it's not like they have any ability to come up with narratives or anything of their own. They have no real plight. They have no real agenda. They have nothing they really want to discuss. All they want to do is respond to what we're talking about and talk shit. So if y'all want to know what the fuck we're talking about so you can talk shit, you might want to get your boy.
That's such a great point. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because every single right-wing alternative has essentially failed. I mean, Parler is
not Truth.
Dead. Truth Social. I mean,
Parler's down 80% of what its original. Or yeah, Parler's down 80% from its peak, and that has a lot to do with not being allowed on. I think both the Apple and Google Store, but then it got allowed on one of those two. Gab has always been fucking the Nazi social. No, only Nazis hang out there. Parler's also terrible, by the way, if you haven't tried it. Locals is so exclusive. Like they made me wait a year, and then Dave Rubin canceled my Locals account. It was brutal. Yeah, he made me wait a year. It was called debatesamcedar.locals.com, and it said like pending approval for a full year, and then just deleted it. I don't know why, but yeah. So fuck that shit. So
we know why, Lance. We know why. I'll be right back.
I hope because I've seen him ban some of these people's, like, suspend some Twitter accounts, and then people talk shit on Twitter and they, you know, appear back. I hope you got your Twitter back. Like,
me too.
Like, I'm personally somebody who recognizes that I will collapse if somebody take my Twitter account. I don't even want y'all to think, don't let me play it cute. If that ever happens to me and I come on here being like, oh, it's all good. Cap. I was in here distraught. I was crying. I was bawling, all of that. Like that's absurd. I hope you get it back, Matt. You built it and you were doing great shit with it. And you really did break the rules. Honestly,
last couple days.
You talk about him worse than like other people.
And you were on fire last couple days. I'll just say that. Like, just tweet after tweet after tweet. It was like he would do something, and then you would just like point out the hypocrisy.
I didn't even share the Elon Jet stuff. Like I said, everything I've criticized him. I've wrote. I was just on a foreign news program, a Turkish program, and they asked me about the Twitter files, and I said what I thought, how it was being presented as, you know, very biased, and it wasn't. We're not seeing the raw data, we're not seeing the raw stuff. There's a sort of narrative being pushed. But then they were really trying to push like a pro Elon Musk thing, and they asked me what I thought about Elon Musk's decision to where he said people should be able to see if they have ghost ban or a trends blacklist and stuff like that. I was like, I think that's a great idea. And if Elon Musk actually wants to, you know, roll out features that make things more transparent, then I would support that 100%. That's a good idea. I mean, I've been as fair could be. It's not my fault that being fair means that I got to shit on 99% of what you do, because 99% of what you do is shit.
Fucked up.
Absolutely.
Where'd Mike go? Blair, question us.
I'm here. I got you. Okay. Well, now that Matt is here, let's just keep that focus going. It's time to talk about the Donald Trump cards, if you don't mind walking us through that story.
Trump NFTs.
Matt, that's all you.
Oh,
That
me.
was
I'm
all
sorry.
you.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm
like,
Hey, wait. Before you start, Matt, I want to ask you, what did you think the day before when you saw the whole like animated thing with Trump and it's like womp, sheer, and like all the cats jump and all that stuff? Like, what did you think? What did you think the announcement was?
Oh, I actually I saw someone speculate NFTs. I don't remember who. I was just scrolling, and I actually thought that the NFTs already dropped the other day because I saw that tweet. And I don't really check what Donald Trump does anymore for the most part on Truth Social.
Yeah, no one does.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. Because it wasn't too surprising to me, because I knew that Melania had dabbled in NFTs, and there were other Donald Trump crypto projects that were unofficial, like non-licensed, and Don Jr. had reached out to them to like work things out or something. I don't know exactly what came of that, but when I saw it drop today, I was a little bit surprised because I didn't realize that that it wasn't already done. And then once I looked more into it, I was like, oh shit, this is like a full-fledged Donald Trump, fully on board, fully licensed, 100% Donald Trump, product. Like throw it on the pile with the Trump steaks and the Trump water bottles and stuff like that. Trump University.
At least
So,
you get a
yeah.
steak. At least you get some meat.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Donald Trump had a major announcement, he said the other day, and that major announcement was an NFT project. His followers and supporters are really not happy, actually. It's very interesting to see. This is really the first time I've seen it at this level, where they're really upset with him because they were expecting something big. Like, you should see some of the replies to him on Truth Social. It's like, how could you do this to us? We're fighting a very serious war, and for you to drop trading cards right now, it's very unserious. Like, they're trying to voice their displeasure at him in the nicest way possible. Yeah. Some people, Baked Alaska, who's back on Twitter. Baked Alaska's on Twitter, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Baked
Hashtag
Alaska,
free
who's
Binder.
back on Twitter. He tweeted out, "I can't believe I'm going to jail now for an NFT salesman."
That's the actual funniest thing he's ever said. Yeah, that's the funniest thing he's ever said.
I saw some people think that he was gonna go and announce his like VP as Carrie Lake or some shit. Like,
oh wow,
like they really like took it.
That was Dilbert creator Scott
Yeah, that's right.
Adams.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Scott Adams said that. Yeah.
Yeah,
way off.
Take turns sharing our favorite Trump NFT, because mine is the one with him blasting off into space. And the reason why that's my favorite one is because he says that these are based off of his life and career. So I really do appreciate him, minting that in an NFT when he blasted off into space. That was really great.
Yeah, I guess I forgot when he did that.
I have to look at them again to find it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I remember the golf one, the cowboy one. The cowboy one's pretty funny.
The football one, there's him as a professional race car driver, which is a banger.
That's right.
They're all very flattering
Yeah.
in terms of the proportions and everything.
Yeah, one of him, he
They're
has
very real.
a different body, and they're using the head. If you were to Google like Trump head transparent, like they just copy pasted that onto a cartoon body that's very, very different than Trump's.
Okay, I haven't seen these. Let me Google this.
I like one of
Yeah.
these
But
sold me.
if you buy 45 of them, then you get to have dinner with Trump at a, which I assume would be a giant banquet, like a donor basically, which would cost $4,500 to buy 45 of those.
McDonald's does not cost that much for dinner.
He's selling 45,000 NFTs for $100 a piece.
They
So
claim
he's
that they won't copy the same one more than 20 times. So I'm not sure how the math works out, but that turns out to be a lot of different versions of Trump
I'm getting lots of email requests, so I'll be here on stream.
Yeah.
Before I
Exploit your
react,
fame.
Before I react, I know y'all. Tell me this ain't what he's selling. This ain't
Yeah.
this ain't it.
Yes.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's $100
He's
you got
even
right
in the
there. Well, actually,
video.
no, you have 3, so that's $300. You're holding $300 with the value. Yeah.
He's even in the video that like talking, like selling them like an infomercial. It's embarrassing. Like that he would do that. The
Did
whole
you see
thing
the
is so
moment in
ridiculous.
that video where he goes off script temporarily because he's like reacting and finding out in real time that one of the prizes, because when you purchase an NFT, you're automatically entered into a sweepstakes. But one of the prizes was dinner with him, and he's like, "Okay, I guess that's a great prize. I guess that's what we're offering." Like something to that effect, where he was just like so shocked, you could see it, that was all that they were offering for how high of a price that they were charging for it.
Who the fuck want to go to dinner with Jabba the Hutt? He needs to stop
Would
his bullshit.
that not be like okay, no, actually, as I'm convincing myself as I think it through, it would either be the worst thing ever or the best thing ever, just in terms of like entertainment value.
You could turn it into content, that's for sure.
That's true.
People in my chat are saying Matt Binder is trending on Twitter right now. Matt, you're going to be famous. You're going to get Streisand
can't even
into
enjoy
the
it.
galaxy. Yeah.
No, I mean, patreon.com/MattBinder. If I could listen, hell, if I could, that would be totally worth it if all of a sudden I got to do this full time, honestly. So please do it full time on my terms, I should say. Obviously, I'm a full time journalist, but the dream is to do it my way. I'll all the other wonderful journalists who are able to,
This may in
number
fact be a
one up
blessing
there
in
with,
disguise for you, actually.
Yeah.
hopefully, patreon.com/MattBinder. I mean, I'm working on a number of things that I don't even know if I was going to be able to publish via, my usual outlet. I was looking into the various ties between right-wingers and NXIVM, which there's a lot. You'd be very surprised. I'm surprised this isn't already a piece that people have already looked into. There's I don't see the screenshot. I don't see the trending thing. So if you could take a screenshot of that. I don't know what else to say.
Where are we
Alright,
gonna go?
look
Like
at Patreon
when
right
Twitter
now.
collapses, what's happening?
I know. I don't know where the meetup is going to be, honestly.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
that part
A
sucks.
meetup?
Like when
Well, just like,
Twitter
where do you go
collapses,
after Twitter? Yeah.
do we all just
Instagram.
disperse? Like what happens?
Y'all
What do-
really ain't. No, but Instagram. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, I am too. I don't
but
use
you
it,
can't-
though.
It's not good for like feed and like news gathering, and I don't know.
Text.
Because you have to post a picture, right? You can't just post text. I don't really use Instagram that much.
You can post. I mean, you can post text in an image.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
I post like some like tweets on there. I post my videos. I do a lot of. I mean, y'all do a lot of video content too, obviously.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I find that it's actually like better in that sense than Twitter is, because I have a million videos on Twitter, but you miss it, you don't know what to type in. You know what I mean? It's gone. So Instagram, I like it in that respect. But I haven't created a Mastodon, and honestly, I don't think I don't feel appealed to. Everybody keeps telling me to join it, but all I see is, moderator issues. Honestly, it's a congregation of the nerds. To be honest, like I'm not on Twitter purely to hear just from us in like a little nerd echo chamber with bad moderation. Like I'm not feeling that. Like I'm a strong believer that Black Twitter is the backbone of Twitter. That's what makes the app hype for me, and that's not on Mastodon. So I haven't gone over there yet. That's not to say that I can't be convinced or that I never will. Like I reserve the right to change my position and go crawling to Mastodon with everybody else.
Well, it's weird because there's like a bunch of servers, and the one server that I picked, I still haven't received like my confirmation email. This was like a month ago, the night when we all thought that Twitter was going to collapse, when the offices were shut. And so I don't even know how to get in. The barrier to entry seems kind of like high, comparatively speaking. And then we can't really migrate to TikTok because it seems like that's going to go the way of the dodo based on how things are going currently. And I am on TikTok, but there's just no alternative to Twitter, in my opinion. At least
I don't think so either.
That's competitive. Yeah. I just, once that goes, then that whole ecosystem, that community, like it just disperses. It's not like when Dig died, everyone had Reddit to go to, but like what's what's the next Twitter? There really is nothing.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it sucks.
yeah, Twitter. I mean, as much as Twitter has obviously its faults and its flaws, like the entire rest of the internet. Twitter is a pretty amazing app, I would say, and I don't think there is a replacement. And as much as like it is undeniable at this point that Elon Musk is obviously doing his endeavor best to kill the fucking app. If for no other reason, even with our staunch loyalty, he's crashing the interface. Like the app just does not work the way it once did at all.
It's trash
but
on
that being
Android.
said,
Mhm.
yeah, I think if I use it purely, if I thought of it like my media commentator hat on it or whatever, I would have a different position and like, okay, leave Twitter or principal this and the next day. But I think of it more from the perspective of an organizer, an activist, or an advocate. And I think of what I've been able to do with Twitter, just in terms of actual bail reform, criminal justice issues, winning cases, getting people out of jail. It's incomparable with like what I've tangibly been able to do. And so for me, I guess I'm like, Elon Musk to me is a billionaire white supremacist fool, and that is pretty much what the police are and everybody else that I take on in life, right, in court and all these different ways. So in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm not going to cede Twitter. Twitter has been such a successful avenue for activists and grassroots movements. I'm like, I'm not going to cede the force because they've got one big figurehead doing bullshit. That being said, if he kicks me off, I hope that don't happen. I will be sick, but nonetheless, I'm gonna ride it out. I'm gonna keep tweeting. I'm gonna keep talking shit. And he didn't get me up in the sweep. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's like I there's so much that I hate about Twitter too. I agree. It's a miserable app. People are terrible on there, but it is really an important utility. Like when you think about in countries like really conservative areas in the world, like this is how they've been able to create LGBTQ plus movements in countries where that's criminalized, and how they stage protests and whatnot. It's been a vital tool. So to have that go away all because of this arrogant billionaire, it's sad. And really it scares me because like what's stopping another billionaire from buying a different platform and doing the same thing? Like what happens if Jeff Bezos wants to buy YouTube? We're all fucked. We can't control that. So it's just it sucks. Like capitalism is stupid. Like this is just, you shouldn't have that much wealth. Like it's insane.
Good TED talk.
Yeah. Yeah. At the very least, I feel like Bezos is a better villain. Like Bezos seems to genuinely not give a fuck about what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like Bezos is what people think. Like oh, you have all this money. Why do you give a fuck? Bezos feels like I have all this money. I sure don't give a fuck. Whereas Elon Musk is like, I could care about nothing more than what y'all are saying about me.
But that's so true because he actually lives like the Lex Luthor life, like he has these like fuck off mansion boats. He's got like all these supermodels that are with him all the time. He does all these like new invented drugs that he asks for. He's like, I want to have cocaine, but it's good for me. Healthy cocaine, please. And like, here you go. Like all this shit that like you expect people to do if they had unlimited money. Instead, Elon Musk is like, I want to be like Reddit popular all the time. I'm the divorced dad reply guy for the fucking white supremacists now. It sucks.
I want the dank memes to pop off.
Yeah, the dank memes. Oh, my memes.
There's an NBC News article that talks about high-profile journalists being suspended. I'm name searching you, Matt, if it can load.
All right. Hold on. I'm getting like press requests from tons of outlets.
Matt,
yeah, ride the train, Matt.
Yeah, this is great. You have to throw in there, Matt. It happened when I was on the Leftist Mafia, which I am on every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. PST.
You've got me nearly at 1,000 viewers, Matt. That's how valuable you are right now. You're internet currency. All of us are exploiting you simultaneously.
Buy Matt Binder stock now.
It's rising.
It's a great long-term investment, better than Tesla.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, Matt, do you know about that? So he sold, what, $3 billion worth of shares, and what is Tesla at now? Like, he's lost all the gains he made this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, you know.
They clipped, hold on, I love this, Matt. They clipped you just with, hold on.
I'm bad, baby.
I love it.
That's so perfect.
That's the best response, Matt. Honestly, who's your therapist, and do they do video conference? Yes. I need them.
Wow, it's just this is so surreal. Like I can't, especially all the people who were banned. Like none of these
Yeah.
people violated the TOS. None of them. Like I know we've talked about this, but it's still like what a petty piece of shit Elon Musk is. I can't get over it.
It's just
Like,
an abuse of power.
Yeah.
I would understand. I honestly, I would respect it more if you would just be a fucking dictator. Just be honest about it. Like
Yeah.
I've said that from the very beginning.
Don't
You clearly
posture.
took over the app for a particular purpose. You were sick of certain. You cannot stand this entire segment of the internet of the population. You took over the app because you're sick of fucking hearing us and you feel like we have too much power on this app. And now you're around the app bullying and taking people off. And that's what it is. Let that be what it is. Say what the fuck it is. The problem I have is, putting out all these pretexts, all these pretenses, all this bullshit, all these fake ass, thinly veiled arguments about free speech and blah, 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 while you actively contradict all of that. And then you fucking ban people and stuff because you a bitch for real. Like it's real, some real sugar pussy behavior. I really don't know another way to say it. It's really crazy. It's really wild. Like,
It is simply free speech for thee. No, wait, free speech for me, but not for thee.
That's
Okay?
it, right? That's
exactly. Exactly.
and it's nuts. And also he's like he's honestly just kind of driving up the competition to roast him. You know what I mean? Because it's like if the entire fucking Twitter, everyone's shitting on you, bro. Everybody.
He made himself the main character 24/7.
Exactly.
He's
People
always the main villain
think
on
so,
Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Isn't
now
this
you
what you
unite.
wanted?
Yeah.
Everyone to talk about you? You
All
got
the
it.
time.
And
Yeah.
and if you start picking and cherry picking who you're gonna block for it, now people say, "Oh, that's who did it. That's who did it the baddest." I gotta go harder next time because
Mhm.
that's what I heard. Like in my mind, I heard Matt got suspended, and I was like, and I took that personally. Like that's how I feel about that. I'm like, oh, okay, so we gotta be on your ass. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Like,
Yeah, and whatever, like I know he's a hypocrite now, but remember when he said he was going to be super transparent and put the entire Twitter algorithm on GitHub so that way you can see the way that they make these decisions and why they're banning people. And it's just everything that he said, he's doing the opposite, but the right is super ecstatic because like their racist buddies get to come back and now they can do polls saying, should I say the N-word or not? Like Baked Alaska is doing. It's just yeah,
He
it's
said
ridiculous.
back in April that I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means.
Mm.
Wow, that
Nice.
aged
I
like
just retweeted that. Like that's what he said back in April.
Aged like
God.
milk.
He's such a piece of shit.
Mike,
What a
I don't know if you know about this, but if you go to elonmusk.today, that's the URL again, elonmusk.today, it's a collection of every single thing he's ever lied about and how many days have passed since he lied about it. And as you might imagine, there is a fuck ton. It is a treasure trove of all of his lies. It's all got sources, links, when he stated the lie, and how he hasn't followed through on it. Everything from like he's going to suck CO2 out of the atmosphere to fuel his rockets. No, that like never happened. Shit like that.
This is a great resource. Thank you.
Yeah, of
this
course.
is really
Yeah.
Of
good.
course. Y'all are the real journalists. I'm just a clown on the internet.
Mood.
Yeah, there's got to be a something like it was 10 years ago that he said that in 10 years they'd put a human being on Mars. That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wow,
not
this is
a
a
thing.
giant page.
Well, he was
Holy
supposed to have a colony on Mars by this point, I think.
Look, he was playing the game Surviving Mars, got a little too into it.
shit.
That's all that happened there, okay?
That's so true.
All right. Well, I
Question
can
answer.
change the topic if y'all want. We have a
Yes.
ton of
Sure.
questions.
So
Okay. So people are asking about do you think Trump is even going to make it to the primaries? He seems so deflated. The hopefully I'm your favorite president statements, et cetera, that he just knows he doesn't have a grip on the Republican Party anymore.
I
don't
think he
think-
will make it as long as he is legally able to make it.
Right.
Absolutely. And then he'll go, even if he goes down, he will somehow find a way to blame, a rigged system. I don't know, something. But I tend to think he's actually, once he starts talking and there's an actual fight between him and DeSantis, assuming DeSantis is running, Trump has more stronger charisma than DeSantis does. And I think that is why he's been around this long. He is essentially a right-wing comedian. I mean, he has the ability to perform in a way that no one else on that side does. So even though DeSantis right now leading in all these polls, I covered this today, doing very well, and it's looking like all the momentum is with DeSantis, that can easily change once there's actual, an actual fight between the two happening, and Trump, I assume would pull out something better than whatever he called him last time, Ron DeSanctimonious, the absolute worst name he's used for anybody. Like, there's so many better options there.
I love that.
But Hassan actually has a great, like, he says that Trump should call him Rhonda, like Rhonda from Florida, which I think is brilliant. Like, yeah, call him Rhonda, like, just demasculate.
Clean up your room.
Yeah, and his side they'll love the homophobia. They'll definitely lean into that. That'll work for them. I agree, David. I think the thing about Trump, I think at a certain point, I thought there was a chance Trump would deflate, maybe, because originally I don't think Trump when he first ever ran for president, I don't think he intended to be president or thought he would make it as far as he did. I think he was a issue candidate or whatever. I think he was surprised to see his bullshit galvanize people the way it did. But I think, did y'all watch House of Dragons?
Yep.
Not yet.
Y'all watch?
I did.
Sorry.
Watch
Oh,
I
I watched.
When old boy, I'm not gonna say that.
It was great.
Okay, when old boy gets crowned, even though he was like, I should not be, no way, I am depraved. But then the minute they actually crown him, he's like, woo, but the sword, I'm like, I'm fucking with this. Yeah, I think that's what happened with Trump. And it was very clear to me. I think when I really recognized, like, oh, he really genuinely, it's not just the fact that he was able to do it and he realizes he could keep it going. But once he fucking lost, and he wouldn't accept it, and he kept doing the bullshit. And that's when I realized, oh, okay, this isn't just them. It happened to work for you, and now they're pushing you. No, he is genuinely addicted to the attention. And I think David's probably right. I've recently been contending with that point, because I'm of the camp that they should be behind DeSantis, and DeSantis is going to be their pick or whatever. Who I think is a much more dangerous character for a number of different reasons.
Oh yeah.
But my daddy was saying to me when he told me, he's like, trust me, don't fucking count Trump out. These people, how they feel about him and that charisma and this and the next. And I think it is entirely possible that if he actually makes it there, which I think probably will, to go toe to toe with DeSantis, I could see Republicans getting re-galvanized around Trump and his bullshit over DeSantis. But I do think if they're actually smart, it would be bad for us. But I think if they actually want the true evil that they want to see happen, I think they should go with their boy DeSantis.
He also has a better shot at beating Biden. I mean, There's recent polling on that, but even apart from that, DeSantis has essentially a clean slate nationally to work with. Like, people in Florida, of course, know who he is, but outside of that, unless you're following politics, you don't really know who DeSantis is. So they
don't know about the fact that he got like torture boners and stuff
around who he is. Meanwhile, Trump, people already have a built-in feeling about Trump, and they're likely not going to change either way. So Trump, I think, has zero shot at winning again. DeSantis absolutely could win if he is the nominee.
I think so too.
I just kind of feel, though, that like if you're at the point where you're fleecing what remains of your loyalists for NFTs, I mean, Trump selling NFTs to me kind of feels as if he's trying to get that demographic of like old people who like think their like grandchildren will love the fact that they got into crypto somehow. Like, look, I got you that thing you keep talking about. It's an NFT. I got the blockchain, and it's like, Grandma, what the fuck? You spent $100 on this? I don't know that it doesn't like. Have you seen how his own fans are like responding? Like conservative people, like the Hodge twins and like other big media personalities, they're like, what the fuck, why are you like slinging NFTs? This is not like presidential. It's like, it's really sad.
That's
hilarious. But their memories are so short. Like,
yeah, true.
I'm sure they've complained about him before about other shit, and then they just move on. So that isn't to say that Trump is definitely going to be the nominee. I just think that he still has a better shot than some people are thinking, based on some of the recent polling.
You are in NBC News, Matt Binder, I think.
There you go. I told you.
Yeah, you are. You are on. I've got the article here. Twitter suspends several high-profile journalists Thursday evening who have been covering the company and Elon Musk. The suspension come a day after Twitter changes its policies around the accounts that track private jets, including one owned by Elon. The accounts of Ryan Mack of the New York Times, Donnie O'Sullivan of CNN, Drew Harwell of the Washington Post, Matt Binder of Mashable, hell yeah, Mika Lee of The Intercept, and independent journalists Aaron Rupar, Keith Olbermann, Tony Webster, holy shit, were all suspended on Thursday evening, including Macedon. That's nuts. Jesus. Congrats.
When you're on television, Binder, you should bring up like a lot of the shit you've been discussing with like the like NXIVM and all that shit, and just like start hammering on some of these stories that no one's covering.
Let me show you the Tim Pool connections to NXIVM too.
Just bring it all up.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. Yes, I know. Yeah. I just got to build up all these other platforms so people know to read my shit, you know.
And push your patron as well.
Yes, patreon.com/MattBinder. A few people have subscribed for sure. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah. Just follow me everywhere so I can build. Because listen, if I had YouTube is basically the closest thing I have to the following I had on Twitter. I have like about 26,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's still only like 25% of what I had on Twitter. So just make it so I don't miss Twitter at all. even if he brings me back, even if he decides to reverse his decision on all these accounts, make it so I'm like, just another platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He hasn't tweeted about this yet, which is very uncharacteristic.
That's because he did it directly, I bet.
I think this is also, I think, should be a lesson to us all, to myself included, to not invest only in one platform. And I think too much of us made that mistake, and we're still making that mistake even in the conversation we're having. Like, where are we all gonna go? The one place. Have multiple fucking social media accounts, my guys. Like we need to. There's no reason why. I have to make myself do this too. Like, you post it on Twitter, go post it on Instagram, but go post it on TikTok or whatever. But build the others, because we can't be taken out like this. Like, we can't just let them be able one foul swoop us. Exactly. We can't have this monopoly, this social media monopoly we've got going on.
Yeah, everyone is tweeting about you, Matt.
All right. Well, I wish I could see it.
That's not so fun.
It's weird because it's like I just got a message on my account that says, hold on.
Oh.
It says, your account is permanently suspended. After careful review, we determined your account broke the Twitter rules. Your account is permanently in read-only mode, which means you can't tweet, retweet, or like content. You won't be able to create new accounts. If you think we got this wrong, you can submit an appeal.
Y'all should jump him.
I mean, you should try anyways.
Yeah, obviously, you got to.
Y'all gotta jump him.
Permanently suspended.
Listen, I totally believe that Elon Musk has the right to run his little his little platform however he'd like. But if you post rules, and those are the rules that tell people what they need to do, and then those people follow those rules, I mean, you gotta at least introduce the new rules and say, from this point on, so whatever I did that broke the rules, please, I will immediately rectify the issue, unless it's no longer talking about you, which then that's something I can't rectify. That's then just fuck my account completely. I'm not coming back.
You can use
Hasn't Twitter historically told you why you're banned? It's like when you get suspended, they normally say what tweets.
I always see people for years get the email saying this tweet broke the account, broke the rules. Let me know, like, delete this account and you will be able to tweet again. I mean, delete this tweet and you'll be able to tweet again. I never received one of those in the entire time I've been on Twitter since 2008. I've never once received a infringement, a policy break, a temporary suspension, a permanent suspension, any suspension. None of my tweets ever caused any issues. Because I've always just followed the rules. It's very, for me, it's very simple, because I just tweet about the news and sarcastically knock people when I think they're wrong. I don't ever bring up people's personal shit. The funny thing is, literally in the past couple of days, I've had this right-winger in my DMs threaten to dox where my children go to school. By the way,
wow.
I don't ever go on record with that, because I just find the best way to handle that shit is just to ignore it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to bring it up now in terms of like how ironic it is that I literally had someone threatening my 3- and 7-year-old, and I get banned. Listen, if someone did something horrible to Elon Musk's kid, that's terrible. I don't want anything to happen to anyone's children. I don't care how rich you are. The kids are completely innocent. Please.
Yeah,
I mean,
always.
If anyone thought that's just no one could possibly thought that from anything I was saying. I just thought Elon Musk was being hypocritical with blaming this 20-year-old kid, Jack Sweeney, for just making an account that Elon Musk previously said was fine. I mean, it's just ridiculous. That's what I was commentating on. That's that simple, honestly.
It's so fucked up.
Well, to make this, I guess, really awkward because I'm not good at pivoting or transitions. Speaking of bans, what about right-wingers trying to ban TikTok, apparently, while we're on the topic of banning?
I didn't know that was a thing. Are they trying to ban the app entirely, or trying to like censor it or decensor
I
it?
believe the app is someone in Congress is trying to ban the app from United States citizens because it's okay if American companies track your data, but not if Chinese companies track your data.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
oligarchs are oligarchs, billionaires are billionaires.
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day.
Somebody on Twitter put it perfectly. Let me give them the credit for the sentiment because they're correct, and I'm pretty much gonna paraphrase it because it is what it is. Hold on. But I think bang. Olivia Juliana said, TikTok is where the overwhelming majority of young people get their information and political updates. This TikTok ban has nothing to do with privacy and everything to do with narrative control. If privacy was really a problem, we'd talk about Facebook having a monopoly. To me, that's all there is. Yeah, like that. I can't say it better.
I love her. I love her Twitter. She's such a great person.
Yeah,
from what I've seen. Matt, this question's for you. If you have a moment to answer. If not, I can go to a different question for now.
Go ahead.
Okay. So it says, please ask Matt to discuss his impromptu interview with the Young Republicans from Tuesday.
Oh, good question.
God, that was fantastic. Yes, that was.
If all of you haven't watched it, do that. It's very good viewing.
Okay, so I had on Michael Edison Hayden and Hannah Gaze from the Southern Poverty Law Center on Tuesday night on my show Doomed at youtube.com/Matt Binder. Go there and subscribe. And excuse me. And I had them on because they recently released a piece for SPLC's Hate Watch, the SPLC's like news website that basically ran down their personal experience attending the New York Young Republican Club's annual gala. Now, you might have heard about this event if you weren't paying attention to SPLC's very specific, like intricate reporting about very specific, maybe lesser known white supremacists, but you might have heard of it because it's the event where Marjorie Taylor Greene was speaking, and she said that if she was actually involved with planning the insurrection attempt on January 6th, they would have been armed. She said that at this event. And then this is also an event where the big award of the night was given to Bumble Jack Posobiec, the Pizzagate promoter and friend of many white supremacists, who has lied about his entire career. He's never worked for any of the mainstream news outlets he claims to have worked for. And I just had them on to talk about that. And I guess because they retweeted it and a lot of, the people who were attending were sort of monitoring what they were saying about it, they were in the live chat. Ashley St. Clair, Kashim, the guy who used to work for Breitbart UK, who runs like the National Pulse now. I forget his name. A few other people. And I was telling them, hey, if you wanna talk to us right now, I'm happy to talk with you guys. I'll bring you guys on the feed. Just call in or DM me your Skype names. And none of them wanted to, except for Lucian Wintrich, who is a board member of the New York City Republican Young Republican Club, the New York Young Republican Club, and this guy Nathan, I believe his name, who was a VP. Who's the VP of the New York Young Republican Club. And so they called in, we spoke with them, and we went at it. Like it was crazy. It was like very heated. It was they wouldn't answer a lot of the questions directly. I had a very specific question for them. Michael of SPLC asked them, why was Peter Brimlow of VDare, the white supremacist site, the guy who runs that site, why was he there? And they said, did you invite him? And they're like, no, he paid for a ticket just like everybody else. We can't control that. So I said, okay, let's, and I don't think Michael believed them, but I said, okay, let's take it from there. Let's say that he did pay for a ticket. He paid the $400 per ticket early bird fee or the $800 ticket for the regular fee or the VIP, whatever he paid to go. And you guys let anyone who pay for a ticket go. That's fine. That's how you want to run your shit. That's fine. But can you answer me this? what do you think why do you think someone like Peter Brimlow wanted to go to your event? What he made a investment into attending this event. He lives in West Virginia. He had to travel to get there. He's laid down hundreds of dollars to go in. What do you think someone like him gets out of that investment? What do you think he was hoping to get out of this? They couldn't answer the question. They tried to get away from it as much as possible. I mean, it's a very simple question to answer. And they just couldn't handle it. It was just wild to see. It was just over the top. I don't think explaining it does it justice because, Michael was really going at them hard.
You cycled through so many different people, by the way. It was like not just him. All of you cycled through so many people. It wasn't just Peter Brimlow. It was like Peter Brimlow, and then you're like, Marjorie Taylor Greene was there. Jack Posobiec was there. Why did you give Jack Posobiec an award? And they're like, oh, we give many people awards. Like, what is the criteria then? Why would you give him an award?
There were members of that far-right Germany party
and Austrian.
Who were there. That party in Germany that just tried to do a coup that was all over the news, that they arrested a bunch of their members because they were about to coup the government of Germany, and they were there.
It was the Davos of fascism. That's what I called it. I was like, that whole meeting, you had all these people like Donald Trump Jr. directly connected to the previous presidents of the United States, mixed with all of these fucking international fascists and old-timey people like white supremacists from back. Who talks about Peter Brimlow? That's not a household name. No one's like, oh yes, Peter Brimlow. Yes, the neo-Nazi. No, it's like, Peter Brimlow, who the fuck is that? And they were all meeting together in the same place at the same time and then playing dumb.
And also a point, because Michael Hayden was there. They got kicked out, actually. And they didn't even pretend. Like, I made a joke when I was introducing them, like, check out Special Agent Hayden and Gaze, who infiltrated the New York City Young Republican event. And they used that later on, like, oh, why did they lie about who they were?
Clean up your room.
If they listened to the thing from the beginning, and also in their reporting, the actual written piece they explain, Michael and Hannah didn't lie about who they were. They used their real names. The New York City Young Republican Club, New York Young Republican Club didn't do any due diligence to check out who these people were before letting them in. They paid for their tickets. When they were there, they didn't lie about who they were. They spoke to people, and when asked who they were, they truthfully, and that's what reporters do. If you're asked who you are, you legitimately say, I'm so-and-so from this outlet, and that's what they did. I mean, that's how they eventually got kicked out, because they were being truthful with who they were. No one, tracked them down via facial recognition and figured out who they were. They got outed because they were telling people who they were, and people started to go to the people in charge saying, hey, so-and-so is here. They just told me they're here. I mean, another major thing, the op-ed section of Newsweek was there, and the op-ed editor, Josh or Hammer or whatever his name is, I can't remember. When Michael started talking to him, Michael said, oh, what do you think about Peter Brimlow being here? And this guy, he's the op-ed editor of Newsweek, goes, oh, Peter's here? Where is he? I want to say hello. And then Michael started asking him more questions about it. And then he goes, wait, who are you? And then he says, oh, I'm Michael Hayden from Southern Poverty Law Center. And then he goes, I don't want to talk with you anymore. And he pretended not to care about Peter Brimlow anymore. This is the editor of Newsweek. If you're wondering why the op-ed section of Newsweek looks the way it does now, because this is the guy accepting the pieces for Newsweek. Looking up to a white supremacist, a white nationalist.
I didn't know that Lucian guy that you were talking to got fired from Drudge for that article about, or maybe that's not why he got fired, but he had an article about how...
he got fired from, I don't know about Drudge, but Lucian Wintrich, the guy who came on the show, one of the two guys, he got fired from Gateway Pundit. This is what was reported at the time.
Oh, that's right.
He got fired from Gateway Pundit. Imagine getting fired from Gateway Pundit for something. But he got fired from Gateway Pundit for doing a podcast with Nick Fuentes.
Oh, I thought it was for the article about how Antifa, super soldiers, are going to behead white people.
I mean, maybe that was one of it too. Maybe the article.
Remember he held up the phone. It was like Antifa super soldiers are going to behead white parents or something like that.
That's what Michael said on the podcast. But then when I looked it up, there was someone else who sourced the Nick Fuentes podcast episode that he did as the reason. So maybe it was both. Maybe it was none. But the point is, the guys did both of those two things, and then for some reason got fired from to me, the big deal isn't that he got fired from Gateway Pundit. I mean, if Gateway Pundit didn't fire him, that still would have, who cares? The point is, he did that fake story about Antifa super soldiers beheading parents, and then also doing a podcast with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go a little bit, not so much a specific topic, but maybe more of an opinion piece of how we feel about things. So this question is, as leftist content consumers, what can we do now that we're convinced socialism isn't a bad thing and is pretty based, actually? From everyone's perspective, how do we best organize as lefty content listeners?
As listeners, I mean, start with your workplace. If you're, I don't know. I think unions are like an important piece of power, because we have very little power individually, but collectively, if you're able to work with your own workplace to try and have a voice in that workplace, I would say start there. I know it's not easy to start that, but there are resources to help with that. That's kind of where my mind goes. If you have the time, help on political campaigns, ones that you really care about. You think, even if they're not going to win, maybe get these opinions out there, these positions out there, and trying to reach people. That's another way. It also just helps with experience and kind of, you meet people in that same mindset, and you can grow from there. So there's opportunities, I think, within the workplace and within politics.
I was going to quickly say, and shout out to Robert Evans, if you don't already know, he's got a lot of really good podcasts about organizing. He lays it out. He's like, there's a whole bunch of ways you can get involved in your local community. Start with things like look for organizations, say Food Not Bombs or pro LGBTQ plus organizations, or just organizations in general that align with some of your politics, so you can get directly involved and then start working from there. Then exactly what David said, he's like, that's one aspect of it. Where do you spend the majority of your day? In your workplace. So if your workplace isn't organized, try to get your workplace organized. Go to More Perfect Union at youtube.com/moreperfectunion. They have direct instructions on how to organize and unionize safely, because it is something that can risk you getting fired. So that's obviously a really big concern. And also, like David said, when it comes to elections, don't just think about the sexy ones, the ones that are like the president, the prime minister. What actually affects your life way more than anything, and I found so much more rewarding, is canvassing and volunteering for your local elections. Who's your mayor? Most people don't even know sometimes who the mayor of their city is. Who's on your council? These are the people who determine the police budget, the police priorities. You have control over that, and the show up, the turnout for local elections is abysmal. In some major cities, it's like 20%. In mine, it was like 36 to 37%. So it's very easy to sway those elections and actually have a big impact that'll change your community.
Oh, Musk just commented.
Oh shit!
Saying someone that guy that he constantly responds to, Mike Solana, tweeted, so far I've been able to confirm about half the accounts suspended posted links to the jet tracker thing in violation of the new doxing policy. Unclear about the rest, but it's safe to say the rule is for real. And Musk replies, same doxing rules apply to journalists as to everyone else.
But journalists in quotation marks!
Everyone
Mention he
comment
said
to Musk
himself
right
that
now.
was fine.
But everyone comment to Musk right now. I never fucking sent
I'll do
that
it.
link to anybody.
In solidarity. I'll risk the instant.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Okay,
I never posted that link. I mean, that's a bullshit policy to
Matt
begin with, but I never even broke that policy.
Never posted the link. I've replied with Matt Binder never posted the link.
Yeah, I'm posting that too.
And by the way, if you had, why wouldn't they show you the tweet, the offending tweet that caused the suspension? You can't, at least you can, because he's Elon Musk, but the way it was supposed to work, or the way it did work, is if you got suspended, you at least knew why. To just do this nonchalantly and clearly have no basis for it, he's just fucking disgusting.
Elon being Elon.
Yeah.
Because the policy is y'all have Elon Musk fucked up. That's the policy. That's the policy you violated. You have him a little bit past all the way fucked up, Matt. That's what happened. And they about to ban Mike ass too and Lance ass. Everybody comment on that post?
He said, here's the new list.
Yeah. Everyone is sharing the notorious tweet from Elon Musk, where the one that David pointed out, where he's like, I hope even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means. Motherfucker, what happened to that? I mean, holy shit. To say that he did a 180 is the understatement of the century. He is the biggest, most pettiest tyrant ever.
I mean, I would believe it's a 180 if I actually believed that what he said the first time was actually truthful.
That's a
But
great
I
point.
think it was always just a show.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, that's a really great
exactly.
point.
Blair, that's the cosign.
Yeah.
That's it. I've been said.
Like,
They be
if
lying.
you take him at face value, yeah, totally. But when has he ever been honest? Like, just
They're
look
not
at his
honest.
history. This is
I
one of
told
the
you.
most honest man out there.
The whole free speech thing in general is some bullshit. That's some bullshit. It ain't got nothing to do with free speech. It never has been. It's a pretense, and we gotta stop engaging them on the merits. I keep saying that shit.
Mhm.
It is a pretense. That's why we all around here like, oh my god, look at them not doing the things they said they do. What? You said you cared.
It's just a circle jerk. They don't care.
I told y'all in episode 1, their only politics is fuck you. That is their political ideology. Fuck you. Y'all agree? Fuck them. It's fuck them. Fuck them. Like whatever they need to do to arrive and fuck them, they're gonna get there. Like,
Yes. We need to reorient ourselves to that absolutely undeniable fact.
yes. I
Well-
already know. Let me tell you, y'all gonna wake up to y'all's Twitter's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pour one out for all y'all when y'all go.
Good. Honestly, I don't want to lose my Twitter account, but I've got to say my mental health would probably improve at least like 65% if I didn't have Twitter, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Twitter is such a
That's
cesspool.
probably true.
It is. You see everything on Twitter. Like the things that people won't call me on YouTube, they'll call me on Twitter. They've got balls on Twitter.
Mhm.
They talk. There's nowhere on the internet I get talked greasier about than YouTube comments, and that's probably because I was on the Hill. But listen, the YouTube
The Hill, yeah.
comment.
That's got
y'all don't know disrespect till y'all see the YouTube comments about me. You don't know
Oh man.
disrespect. Okay, they be in there talking about me. Like my mother called me in a heated rage one day. I was like, oh no, mama, you can. They don't love your daughter there. Love does not live there. Don't scroll, mommy. Don't scroll. Like my mommy calls me like, why would they say that about you? I don't even understand why they would say that. Meanwhile, my mommy be talking the same shit about me. Like my mommy be the same one. Like, why do they let this bitch on TV? They don't vet. Meanwhile, they say that on YouTube, and my mommy's like, whose child? Whose child are they talking about? Not my child.
It's always sad when moms discover like the haters of their children. Like I don't remember what it was, but my mom looked at my YouTube comment section a long time ago. It was like years ago. And I remember she like sent me a message on Facebook. She's like, "Did you see what this person said about you?" Like, "Mom, it's fine. Like they're it's YouTube. It's totally okay. Just don't read it. Don't look at the comments."
He goes through your
mommy
comments?
nice.
Oh,
My
no.
mommy Loki thinks I'm obnoxious. She thinks I'm just like my daddy. So like she's like on my team, like she wanna be on my team because she's my mama, but she also be sick of my shit. So what she'll do, she knows she'd be like, she's like, geez, you just think you think you are. And then my mother, when I realized that my mommy was a toxic woman that needed to be reined in, was this woman knows I don't read the YouTube comments. She knows I don't read the YouTube comments. Y'all believe my mother sat down like she was reading the newspaper and sent me a 2-minute audio note, just reading all the shit talking. Just
No, she did.
yeah.
Oh my.
Let me tell you how she tricked me too. That's how she tricked me. That's how she tricked me. Cause she don't know. That's how she tricked me. She's so fucked up. She came in the comments. She was like, "Yeah, me." So they was actually being, mostly positive. I saw a lot of positive comments about you. Proceeds to read only slander, only defamation. And she's like tickled. She's like, I always love when the racists call people racist. They said you're a racist. She said, I'm like,
That's so wrong.
I was like, you know what? I understand that not because I am on a mental health journey doesn't mean you on one. So I am gonna address you when I figure out. I'm gonna leave this conversation now, Mama.
Oh my god. So, yeah, it's best to just like not look at the comments. I think that anyone who's getting in, like who's new to like having a semi sort of platform, rule number 1 is don't look at the comments. You'll develop thicker skin, but they will say some fucked up shit about you. I saw Blair, she shared a comment, and I got the same type of comment from a different person.
Yeah.
Of one of them saying, yeah, Man, it's too bad that you weren't in the club during the Club Q shooting. Like I got that, Blair got that. We both like I shared my screenshot in your thread.
Yep, I saw that and I was like, yeah, I mean, I was almost there. Like you were close, buddy. Your wish almost happened, but fuck you, I'm still here.
That's
Right.
fucking
Sorry.
crazy.
These people are insane. I remember like right after my dad died, somebody sent, I don't know if it was through email or a YouTube comment, but somebody was like, it's good that your dad is dead because he doesn't get to see his son be a sellout piece of shit or whatever. I'm like, you don't
Whoa.
even know my dad. My dad was super proud of me. Fuck you. I influenced my dad's politics. Where is that even coming from? Like they just try to like find the lowest, most like hurtful thing. But I feel like the bar is so high to get me to pay attention. Like it
They're
just
such
it doesn't
dickheads.
even affect me.
They're dickheads. They're dickheads. It's just it's really wild with the internet and the way people perceive social media visibility. Like I feel like they think like as you get followers or something, you start getting like you get 10 grand or something every 1,000 followers or something. Like even when we did this show, someone commented to me and they were like, you sure sold out quick. I was like, sold, wait a minute, we sold out. Stream, hold on.
How are
What you talking about? I'm streaming with 5 people for the free on Thursday. What you talking about? Sold out? I was like, the fuck you mean sold out? Where's my money? Like, I was like, huh? Why? Where do y'all even? They just come with slander. Like, I'm like,
Damn.
yeah, it's called me a sellout. They like listen, they did me. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Can't talk to some white people on a Thursday evening without immediately you are a traitor. I was like, that's fucking crazy. That's so wild.
The best are the people that are fans of actual sellouts, like Jimmy Dore, and then they criticize you for being a sellout. It's like, yo, the dude you're a fan of, he's the guy that bought the mansion, not me. Like, what the fuck you talking about?
Yeah. I don't have a fucking mansion. Like I have student debt still. Come on.
I'm saying,
Dude,
son,
me too. I still got 40 grand of student debt. Can't wait to painfully pay that off piece by piece.
I have 95K. It's
I'm so
gonna be a
sorry.
long time. Yeah, so shout out to Ron, Ronald C. World on Twitter, Clueless Ron. He shared one of my responses to Lauren Boebert. Like sometimes I'll just tweet at them like, "Hey, remember when your husband was arrested at a bowling alley for exposing himself to a minor?" And like just random person,
I'm
unprovoked.
gonna get off the call for a second, guys. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye, Matt.
Go do your interviews.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
This
like, oh,
random
sorry,
unprovoked
CNN's
person-
calling again.
He's too famous for us now.
I
Yeah.
know. God. We're
Oh,
gonna have
did
to
he
find
just
a
big time
girl.
us? Oh, that sucks.
But this person who's a Jimmy Dore fan responded to my random ass tweet to Lauren Boebert, and they're like, "Remember when you called Jimmy Doy a right winger, and he's more left than you?" And they spelt it Jimmy Doy, which just makes it so hilarious
mean?
and kind of cute in a way. But it's just God, people. Twitter is terrible.
I just
Elon Musk tweet update, by the way. He
Nice.
tweets, "I love Barbara Streisand, LOL."
go to fucking hell. I hate this guy. Fucking hate this guy. I hate fucking
What a fucking hell.
Well-
No, I hate when the people online try to bring you into like beef. Like they don't like some rat. First of all, I don't even have a database of commentators. Let me just know that. As y'all know, I don't know 99% of everybody. I only know who knows me purely. So then they don't like somebody, or they decided you have some interaction or someone, or this, they have this web of like what's acceptable, who's allowed to collaborate, or who's supposed to be friends. And I'm just like, let me explain something, and let me explain something good. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm not in it. Like, I think it is a waste of energy. Listen, I have thoughts. I have thoughts. I'm an opinionated bitch. So I have lots of thoughts on different commentators, different people, different da-da-da, and I think it is a waste of energy and space and attention and engagement for that to be what I'm engaged. I don't give a fuck about what anybody else is saying on their platform. I am not busy trying to win some kind of purity test. From my perspective, in terms of the work that I do outside of like commentating and being media is an aspect of, how I go about advocacy and blah, blah, blah. But overall, where I see my role and what I'm concerned about in terms of Black liberation, I think it has always been a mistake to be engaged in an argument. If I read books, if I read Huey Newton, Stokely Carmichael, W.E.B. Du Bois, everybody at some point in time addresses their thought or beef or problem with some other Black activist. And who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, like how I see it is under a certain level of umbrella. We're not gonna agree on every motherfucking thing. And like it's not my concern, regardless how I feel about it, it's not my concern to be worried about you unless I find you to be like a truly harmful motherfucker. And I'm gonna speak about your ideology. But wasting time and energy when we barely ever get space in the mainstream media at all, or attention or engagement to our post, me wasting and taking that energy to go shit on such and such and this one and blah blah blah. And I don't like him this. I don't give a flying fuck. It's just not a useful time and energy. So don't get me involved in that bullshit, because that's how I feel about that. For me, I am a person, I am consistent. You put me in the room with the right, you put me in the room with whomever, the liberals, the mods, the centrists, I say the same shit. I give it up the same way. I have the same agenda. And so I'm like, that's what I'm here for. I don't care about who is across from me and all of this next thing you running on with and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go where I need to go to get the fucking message out and say the same thing. But keep me out of your petty bullshit, because I don't got this fucking time for it. I'm busy trying to get people out of jail.
That's full. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Like,
Yes.
mic drop. People, I hate when people try to ascribe political ideologies to you. Like, I'll see people like try to use, like, they'll call me a liberal or something on Twitter, like to try to be like, to insult me. When it's like, you don't even, like, you literally don't even watch my show, so you don't even know what my ideology is. Like, I'm explicitly anti-capitalist. Like, you don't know what the fuck I believe in. So if you stopped watching like 7 years ago when I started, when I was like a sock down, like, don't talk now. Like, don't, like, people are just, they like to talk shit. That's like the end of it. Like, they
there's no room for evolution or realism or recognition that, like, listen, I can't stand centrism. Like, I shit on, like, I have my issues with liberals too, and moderates, and I fucking hate it. Like, and y'all know I'm not a very mince words type of person in general, so I get that. But at the end of the day, I recognize that the majority of the people that are on the side of the camp that we can appeal to are not me. Okay, we are not reflective. We, the organizers and the activists and the truest of the left and stuff, whomever, we are not reflective of every fucking body. At the end of the day, the liberals and the centrists, it makes no sense that you could think it's okay for us to respond to white supremacists and debunk them and attack them, who will never give a fuck about what we're talking about. But you think we should totally ignore any level of, you know, who is a liberal or who is it this. At the end of the day, we have to deal with those motherfuckers. I don't have to like it. I don't like it either. But at the end of the day, you have to try to move those people. That's the best you could fucking do. I didn't think about that. Blah 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 blah. You have way of a better chance in doing that than with white supremacists. So it's like wanting to be in an echo chamber is harmful. Like that's just purely of like, it just isn't reasonable. It isn't realistic. And something for me that I try to consider. I've always been somebody, I don't like getting unfounded praise. Like I don't believe, I always say, Lance can tell you on my first interview with Lance, I'm like, I don't think being a public defender is doing God's work. I don't think anything like that. Y'all don't see me. I don't call myself nobody's revolutionary.
I was like, I do.
Nobody's activist. Yeah, I don't feel that way. But I feel like if people are paying attention to me, I see, oh, there's a platform, I feel a level of responsibility to make sure I'm actually saying something worth saying. I'm espousing something. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to figure out how we could do something, which is why I have a Lurinati, which is why I read, why I say all these different things. I don't have the energy and the space for us to just be only talking to other me's, because that's not going to do nothing for us. If I feel like I have all the answers in my house. I feel like I have all these things that would be helpful if more people thought about this, but I only tell my boy who agrees, you know, what's that going to do for again? And at the end of the day, you got to recognize this. Nobody starts at their most radical, and political evolution is lifelong. You're constantly learning. It is a theory. You're constantly evolving. I always say to people, I did not start a fucking abolitionist. I started as somebody far more radical than your average person. And when it was first posed to me, I was like, you know, because again, we're all being educated in a society that educates us in the way of the bullshit, you know, educates us to be more on what is the status quo. So we have to recognize that there are a lot of people that just don't fucking have the information, have never thought about it like that. And they are not going to completely abandon their whole school of thought, you know, the first time we say something, and it can't just be like, well, you know, I feel it. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's okay to be like, fuck them, fuck the centrists, fuck them. Fuck them. I do feel you, but you got to talk to them too. We can't just be like, that person's not a real leftist. How dare you call that leftist mafia? Why are you thinking that? I'm like, because in my mind, I hear that and I'm just like, at the end of the day, even if your mind, I see all the comments they say to me is like, you're the only one I think is a real. Okay, so let's say all these 5 white people are all liberals, right? Or you think they're more representative of the Dems and blah blah. are they not still the majority by comparison? You recognize that the 5 of those people definitely outrank. Like, I'm like, it's only me one. If that's just all the different people, these people everybody got a show and I don't. All these people have larger platforms, larger street access, so they're talking to more people. Is it not better for you to get people in the room and be having those conversations? Isn't it better for us, instead of us to be infighting, for us to actually have the discussions and share the different information that we didn't know and cross content like that? Because we just can't know it all. We can't cover all the areas. Half the things y'all talk about, I'm like, I didn't hear about it. Didn't know. Didn't know. And then people who watch for me, they get to hear that information they didn't know. And the people that watch for y'all that don't know the information, I would say they get to hear that information. And we do a much better job at least trying to get on some more moving to the left and some more united messaging, instead of just fighting to say, yeah, I'm the wokest leftist in the room.
This is why I also don't normally talk about ideology on my channel. I tend to, I mean, I do think each of us have sort of a place in our audience and like goals that we want to achieve and who we're reaching. For most of my content, I do try to make it as broad as possible, because I know discussing ideology, like immediately, like people don't care or it turns them off, and it's not interesting for a lot of people. Whereas if you talk about a news item in a way that maybe opens their minds to ideas they haven't thought of before, I think that is a better way to get to people than discussing my ideology, what that means. It's just, that's how I've always applied, like how I discuss news. And that's also, by the way, why I think it's important to, at least for me, to jump on various viral topics that are popping up, or like a clip of like The View or some shit, where it seems dumb on the face of it, but if you introduce different ideas and thoughts into those discussions, that those people that would come upon a clip, like a viral clip, they wouldn't normally see something like that, then you aren't just discussing or showcasing the clip for the sake of the clip. You are bringing other information into that discussion and reaching people that normally would not be seeing your channel, because you are discussing this trending topic that a lot of people are viewing. So I think that's always my goal, is to try and reach as broad of an audience as possible. That's why I have people that are like elderly that watch me, that comment on a regular basis. I have people that are young that comment. So I have sort of people all over the place. And I think that should be a lot of our goals. At least, it can't always be. I know some of us are a little more focused on talking to a leftist audience and how we frame arguments and that kind of thing. But for me, it's always been a broader message.
Yeah, that's the way that I see it as well. It's like my goal is to move people as far as I can move them towards my position, towards the far left. But you can't do that by just like being in your face about it. You've got to be strategic. And I do think that like trying to radicalize normies by like introducing a View clip for a while and bringing like a leftist twist to it, I think that is important. Like in the days when my show was popping off in 2017 during net neutrality, I get comments all the time of people saying, listen, I was not political, or I was conservative, and I just kept watching after net neutrality, and now I'm a socialist. Or some people, now I'm a communist.
That's awesome.
And they just and it's not like I don't really talk about ideology. Like I'll introduce like anti-capitalist rhetoric from time to time if it's relevant, or I'll talk about like anti-capitalism if I'm talking about billionaires, for example. But like my goal is to just get them to have that spark to start like discovering their own political ideology. I just like point them in the direction. So you have to like know who your audience is, and it's unrealistic to like always be beating up on liberals 100% of the time, which we all shit on liberals. We all love doing that because they are insufferable. But the liberals are the ones who I think we need to win over to bring to the left. And there has been liberals who have said like, yeah, I agree with you about this with the Democratic Party and how this is fucked up what they did. And that's that's what our jobs are, I think, as political commentators, to the extent that like we have a grander message. That's at least like what I feel my mission is radicalize these normies, get all of the Democratic Party loyalists to see that the Democratic Party is flawed. Opt for the more progressive candidates if you're going to vote. If you're going to vote at all, make sure you participate in local elections, support these progressive candidates, because even though it makes a lot of sense to us, people don't realize it. Like they don't understand politics the way that we see it. Like I went to a town hall back in 2018 and I had on a Bernie Sanders shirt. And then this old lady who was signing everyone up, she was like, oh, I love Bernie Sanders. I voted for him in 2016. And I'm like, hey, that's great. She's like, yeah, but I love Pete Buttigieg now. And I'm like, see, that's the person right there. Like, that's the motherfucker who I'm trying to grab and wake up and shake them. And you can't do it by saying, "Oh, Pete Buttigieg is a piece of shit. I fucking hate him." Like you can't do that. So you've got to say, well, like I forgot what I said, but it was very like gentle, like, yeah, but I don't like the way that he's taking money from Wall Street, unlike Bernie Sanders. And she was like, yeah, I mean, I didn't keep in touch with this lady, so I don't know if I changed her mind. She probably just, thought, fuck you. But
Yeah.
that's the people who you want to pull over, because I've seen some threads on Reddit where they're like, oh yeah, like Mike convinced me. I used to follow Steven Crowder and I saw his video debunking Steven Crowder, and now I don't follow him. But like I don't know how many of those people you can win over. So realistically, liberals are the easiest. Like they're the low-hanging fruit. So go after liberals, try to convince as many as you possibly can. And to the extent that people think I'm a liberal because I try to radicalize the liberals and speak their language, that's fine. But like ultimately at the end of the day, I hide my power level. I fucking hate capitalism. I absolutely am anti-capitalist 100%. I think that the workers should own the means of production that should be seized violently. But I'm not going to just come out and say that, because people don't even know what the fuck socialism is in this country. So you can't you have to meet people where they are, right? You have to speak their language. And that's kind of like what I feel like my job is.
But you just said it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just said it. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I think my channel falls into like that gateway area, because I think between all of the content that we create, I think I probably have some of the more neutral content, because and it's interesting because I think I briefly talked about it with you, Lance, when we were on your show, that I used to actually be very conservative up until probably around 2012, 2014 area. And then I just claimed I was a libertarian while I was figuring my shit out and where I actually like was and what I believed in. And one of the things that really made me lean left, like faster than anything ever, was all the research that had to be done for all the episodes that we created to look at these businesses. And what you realize is no one likes what these businesses are doing. And that's literally the reason why my content thrives and does what it does, is because everyone hates this shit and they want to learn, why are charities corrupt? Why are these cults here? Why do these MLMs and scams and shit, why are they all around? And when you dig into it, you start to realize that there's really one political party that really supports these things and puts laws in place to allow these things to happen. And then when you start to let yourself put the pieces together over a series of time, you go, holy shit, there's no way that I can be part of the right, because they believe all of these things are okay. And I vehemently think that what these companies or nonprofits or whatever did are wrong. And I've also gotten those comments where people are like, oh, I used to be like centrist or whatever, and now I'm leaning so much farther left after watching your content. And I'm just like, me too, honestly. I had to learn through that process as well. And then when it came time to kind of hiring employees, when that was a whole thing, when I started to do that, and I was like, no, everyone needs healthcare, everyone needs 401ks, all of my employees know I bug them regularly when I see they haven't taken off time in a couple months. And I'm like, hey, do you need like a week off? Do you want to go away for a week? You should go relax. Do you have something to do? I can like send you something. Like, what do you need help with? Let's let you take a break and refresh. And when I started going through like the laws and stuff to set things up, what's kind of funny is there was a program that I wanted to set up for employees. And it's called like a personal spending account, essentially. It's something that I know exists in Canada, doesn't exist in the US. And I tried to set that up. I contacted this company in Canada, and they take a look at my company. They'll go, oh, well, you're an American company, so it's not actually, this isn't a tax exempt benefit in the US. This is something only like Canadian companies can really work with. And I was like, oh, so I can't work with you guys at all? And they were like, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, America's not compatible. They don't believe in this type of benefit for their employees. So I had to manually create it for my employees. And it's something where I take a nasty little tax hit on it every year, essentially, because it's counted as a taxable benefit. And I try to like kind of mitigate that kind of tax cost with them by paying for it. And it became so clear how easy as an employer in America it would be to literally exploit the living shit out of my employees. And it was kind of horrifying to see it firsthand, to go, oh, I could write off like a G-Wagon, but the fact that I want to give my employees extra money so that they can like have childcare paid for, or like be able to go to the movies, or maybe be able to have their groceries, like, extra groceries or whatever paid for, as like in the house parties, whatever. Like, I don't care what you do in your personal life, but like, so they can actually enjoy life outside of work. And that I couldn't do anything about that, but I could go buy like a G-Wagon, or I could go buy a boat, or any of these obscene things and call those tax write-offs. And I just found that to be obscenely grotesque. And I was like, all right, listen here. Now as like a tiny business owner, I see a big difference. And it gave me even more perspective when I'm looking at these companies, because I know they have even more options and reach on how they could help people and they choose not to. And there's nothing that really motivated me more than kind of putting those pieces together and then being able to talk about it on a weekly basis. Like nothing shifted me over. And it's the subtle stuff that gets people, I think. If we're out there going, socialism, people, it's such a polarized word. People don't even know what it means. People don't care what it means anymore. But if you're like, let's talk about what this company did. Let's look at this example. People go, you're right. That is fucked up. And I'm like, that's right. And let me tell you what else that might mean for you if you believe in that.
Yeah.
See-
Yeah. Everyone has this experience with like these tyrannical bosses. Like the easiest conversation about to like get into the doorway with someone, if they're not necessarily super political, is you talk about how we don't have democracy in the workplace. They literally control our expression, what we can wear, where we have to be, and we dedicate the majority of our days to these corporations.
Me personally, I am very firmly, obviously, in what is my basic position in anything. I am moving us to a radically different world in plain sight, right? Like I'm an abolitionist, and for me, it's not about speaking around that. It's about speaking in recognition of that, in the sense that I will always acknowledge, and I think that always will seed some, grace in discussions with people. I always acknowledge that everything that I say and believe and espouse is radical by today's, status quo, or that it will seem abnormal to you, and that is something that allows people to give it more grace in conversation and in breaking that down. But I'm very squarely, firmly, I don't give a fuck what words you're scared of, and what different things, because I recognize that inherently everything that I am and everything that I'm going to say, just my space in the room, me speaking, the kinds of people that I'm speaking to and the world that I'm trying to get them to change and what status quo they are trying to maintain, don't want to hear from me, period. Hearing from me at all in and of itself is the radical thing, is the thing that scares them. So there's no world in which I can mute or condense this in a way that does not make whomever afraid. I recognize, and I think this is something we all should recognize in fighting for anything, is there will always be people that there's no way that you can do it that they will not position themselves as your adversary, as they will not have a problem, as they will not receive it as terror. But you just have to do your best to speak in truth of that and speak in furtherance of that. And also, I think we have to be wary of the limited space we have. Like for me, I'm all for everybody take the approach that works for them. Like in the sense that even like with lawyers, like we have different style. Like I could be a great lawyer and I'm a more bombastic type, and there's a great lawyer that is far muter and reserved. There's different strokes for different folks, because there's different people on a jury, right? So in the same way, there are different people that are going to consume their information and prefer it in different ways. There are people that are going to prefer to hear from Lance, people prefer to hear from David, people prefer to hear Mike. And so I recognize that not every approach there's not one approach that's the right way, right? The approach that works for whom and whom can package it that way. But what I always, and I want us to all recognize, and something that I know from being in like the writing world and the media world and the lawyer world, is they don't let us in much. Like in terms of writing op-ed, based on how much shit I write, how much things that come out or can be published in mainstream, print versus what I actually, write or have, or what I want to say is vastly different. If I wrote for every op-ed that I've ever had come out, if I showed you what the original version of it, very, 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 very different. When they let us into media, to come on to mainstream media, to talk, to be on these shows, very limited time. So what I don't want us to do is get caught up in the talking about people and things more than issues. And I think that is sometimes what the audience is, what feeds us. They feed us and they want us to do that. They want us to be worried about what such and such is doing and such is saying and arguing, and they want your commentating on that person and that thing. And it's like, no. We barely get space. They barely offer us any of this space, any of this platform. We need to be spent doing that in furtherance of whatever our goal is and whatever method it is that we are choosing to go about that and educate people, rather than get caught up in the bullshit of people turning us into little pawns. You know what I mean? Little things to dance with.
That's part of being an internet personality too. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was going to say, one of the things that I found really interesting was when I announced in like the community tab of my YouTube channel, saying that we were going to kind of do this whole thing. Most of the comments, I'd say like 95% of them were super positive, and everyone's like really excited. They're like, oh my God, finally a whole bunch of people on the left are going to, you know, come together in a panel to discuss topics, and it's a merging of minds and a merging of platforms. And it was really cool. And then there was like this weird 5% of people maybe that were just like, well, you're not left enough. Like, none of you are left enough. You guys are all liberal cucks. You guys are establishment motherfuckers and shit. And I was like, you do nothing to benefit the conversation, because while the right can unite itself all it wants all day and spew absolute hatred everywhere in waves, we just sit here and have to pick up pieces because none of us want to get together because everyone's too big trying to figure out whose dick is larger. I'm like, can we just get together and do the damn thing and be united for once?
Yeah, I genuinely expected. That's what what you got is your 95%. That's what I expected to get, honestly, because to me, as someone who's always, I feel like I'm very rarely in a space where it's not shitty. Like I'm in conservative shows. I'm in this. I'm like, people, like, they love to see me in those spaces, but they have no respect for my mental health. Like I'm like, do you think I want to wake up at 8?
It's so true, though.
You know what it is to roll out of bed at the top of the morning and do a morning show with conservatives? And everybody, I'm like, y'all ain't really thinking about my people. Like, to all week be like all day long policing this, that, at a whole conservative run. And to me, when I did Lance's show, I'm like, oh, this is nice. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, and then when we did like last year, I'm like, this is fun. Like, wouldn't it be nice? We do so much like grueling type of, you know, serious this, everything's so serious, everything's so hostile, everything's so combative. Wouldn't this be good? And also I felt like it was really consistent with what I've espoused, because I feel like there isn't enough joint, you know what I mean, collaboration on this side. There really just isn't. And I'm like, it's better for us. We're constantly talking about how fragmented our side, and it is. It's because it's a large umbrella of a bunch of different, you know, movements and yada yada yada. Wouldn't it be good? Don't we want a space where we're for once not like fighting and doing bullshit? Like, I'm like, oh, and I thought it was interesting because all the people that have so much shit to say never actually have anything to say about the actual show. Like, there's that, like, it's purely just, they're not leftists, why do you name it this? Also, can we talk about, I just want to save and absolve y'all that I said Leftist Mafia. I thought that would be, I thought it was fun. I'm like, and now people acting like, I'm like, this was never even a term. Why are you acting like Leftist Mafia is like some sacred thing out there that we go up? They're like, bro, we just having fun. It's just fun.
Wait, are they mad? Do they think it's like anti-Italian discrimination, or what's the concern?
I got someone who said that.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I saw a comment that said that.
What?
I'm sorry to that person. I rolled my eyes. I have Italian cousins. I know people that are Italian.
I have Italian friends. Okay, we get a pass.
But like,
Matt Binder is Italian.
I'm half Portuguese. People can talk shit about Portuguese. Like, I don't fucking like, call me a pork chop. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just, I don't know. I find it weird. Like,
That's cute though.
I like that. Yeah. My husband is half Italian, so he.
Oh, you get a pass. That's a full pass. Yeah, no, yeah, you get the Fredo pass. You're fine.
He's Italian, so there you go.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he gave us all the Fredo card. We're good. Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, no, they talked. They had a lot of negatives to say, but nobody who actually watched the show can say, like, my friend was like, oh, like my associate was watching it because I was like, oh, because she wanted to watch it to get our personalities to do the little flyer we posted, and she texted me. She goes, she's so sweet. Oh, she's such a gem. I'm gonna buy her a little Christmas gift. I'm gonna treat her. She manages to fuck out my life. I love her. So she texted me. She goes, oh my god, this is actually so good. Like, this is so like refreshing. I'm like, isn't it nice and like a nice little wholesome time?
Yeah, people love it. I've seen so many comments of people like, oh, this is already my favorite show after episode 2. So people like, because nobody's really doing this. We're kind of doing something new for the left, which is just talking with other people.
Right. Like let's have the regular conversations we have. Yeah.
I agree. And it's great because we all get to meet new people. We all have different audiences. And like we were saying earlier, we all have different perspectives on how we view the world and different issues that we, look into in particular. So when we come together to talk about these big things, and then obviously having our audience contribute to kind of those questions and themes for us, it gives a lot of different perspectives for a lot of different people instantaneously, but I think all from still like a central leftist position. And it's nice because we talk about all these other panels and all these talk shows where all these crazy right-wing Nazi people go on. And like, well, I don't want to say we don't have an equivalent because we don't really have Nazis, but like we don't have a place where we don't have a place where where we all want to talk and express our ideas and viewpoints. Because I know we're not sitting here all like little cookie cutters. We all have varying degrees on viewpoints. And I think that's really interesting because it's not going to change, you know, or grow if you sit in your little bubble and just regurgitate information back and forth. So, and there is nuance within, you know, each side of the political party, but obviously we're speaking left here. There's nuance here and different variations of how people feel about things. And it's interesting to learn about that because that's the only way you're going to grow and expand your own knowledge and what you want to believe in and stand behind. So I just get it why it took so long, but.
And it's representative of life. I think people have to remember that is like, if you're actually in community, like as people who consider themselves, you know, they're talking the advocates, the true left, the organizers. I know, you know, let's keep it G real. Like, let's not act like everybody that we have to be in community with, that we have to be in these nonprofits with, everybody that we're working with towards maybe the same common goal. We think that we have identical politics, or we think that their politics are all that I love. You know what I mean? There is that whether you like it or not, there is variation. It just exists. It just exists. And you have to be able to contend with that and have those conversations. And what I want us to remember, the internet, and I know this because the internet does this to me too. I realize how much Twitter has made me be so quick fire, like so immediate to be like, ooh, I like, you know, because you just feel like people are coming at you. And I noticed that like there are things on Twitter or that you get mad about, like you're mad because you disagree with, but that in real life, if your friend or someone you were talking to, like y'all disagree, you wouldn't give a fuck. Like y'all would move past that in the conversation. Like it wouldn't be that important. But we are doing that. We are constantly just, you know what I mean? Let's fight this, do all of this. But in real life, we have these conversations. We know that. In real life, we have all kind of people that we cannot click block on and click mute on in real life, that we got to work with, that we got to protest with, that we got to do all these things with. So why not sit around and have those conversations with each other and show how it really goes, where you can have all kind of different viewpoints and nobody's mad, there's no beef, there's no stress. It's just, oh yeah, we could sit down and talk in a Spider-Man shirt, which I want to, in case MB, I wanted to call myself out because I know I talked a lot of shit about Spider-Man on the first episode. And I do have this Spider-Man shirt on, but
I've got to ask, since we're all talking about different platforms, Olayemi, when are you going to start a YouTube channel? Because that shit would pop off.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Yeah, I get asked that a
yes,
lot.
You definitely
Why
need
me
to.
relax to bench the channel.
listen, I'm working on it. I am starting to. Listen, my associate who is managing my life. We're talking about. I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to work up to it, but it's coming.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it together. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Already have a fan base like built in. Like a lot of people love you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, listen, and I love them too. You know, I'm a Leo. I loves me. But, I meant to ask this for research purposes because I was like, my friend was talking about how me and Lance are so high energy, and I was like, I think it's we're both Leos. I was like, maybe. Oh, and Mike, and I was like, wait, I think Mike might be a fire sign too, aren't you, Mike?
I'm
what's
a
your
Cancer,
zodiac sign?
I think.
No, are you a Cancer?
Yeah.
Is that what you are?
Yeah. What does that mean? Because I'm not.
Yeah, what does cancers mean? I don't know.
It means you're sensitive and wild and emotionally wild, Mike. That's what it means.
No, I'm not at all.
No confirmation bias for you, Mike. No confirmation bias going down.
I am heavily medicated, so there's no eyes.
I want to ask your ex-boyfriends, line them up. And, you know, that used to be, can we talk about, that used to be my worst life nightmare. Like, I used to have, in my early 20s, my greatest nightmare was that I would just walk out onto, like, the Ellen, this is a dream, at the Ellen stage, and, like, every man I've slept with would be on the stage. Like, and then how I did.
Like an ambush?
Yeah, and then how I played down this anxiety was like, I was like, girl, what the fuck would you be doing on anybody's stage or anybody's talk show, get an interview? That kind of is my life. And I'm like, oh. But I've gotten around the fair and I've just decided I would gaslight everybody. Like that is what it's gonna be my strategy. I decided that can't nobody stop me. I'm gaslighting the fuck out of it. Like if they do, I don't know these men. And that's crazy how men be out here lying and clout chasing and trying to bring a good woman down. I don't know these men. I have never had sexual relations with these men. So yeah. I don't know my great secrets, my great fears.
Do you watch the show Atlanta at all?
I watched the first season.
There's an episode about that where they go back to town and every one of their exes is just there all at once and they have to deal with all of them at the same time.
I used to have have, what I used to ask a scenario when we go to the bar. One time, me and my friend was having this debate at karaoke. Like if you walked into a room, you were locked in a room with all your exes, how do you think that would go for you? What do you think?
I would do fine, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great time.
Really? Are you one of those guys who's
Oh,
friends with all your
They're in the room
exes? I can see
together
that.
with one another. You know that, right? Like they're all in the room with you. Like one little white padded room. Not because you're like locked away in an asylum, but it's white and it's padded for comfort.
The other white padded rooms.
I didn't date a lot before I came out, but like my most like the one girlfriend who was like stood out the most, who like met my parents, came to my wedding with my husband and stuff. So we're like really cool.
Oh, that's cute.
And yeah, I think I would do okay. I feel like I haven't made a lot of enemies except online. Online is very different.
What about you, Blair?
I'm on friendly terms with like all of my exes except one, and I actually still regularly message a lot of them, and we like check in on each other and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, lads?
No, I would not like. It would not go well. I would not like that at all. It'd be a room of chaos and dark energy. No, thank you. I do not want any. No, thanks.
Thank you. Like, come on in this. Like this would the block would be on nobody but me. All right, cool. All right, got it. Like, yeah, no, not the best.
So, because you said something about the horoscope signs. So, like, since myself, Blair, and David had different answers, does that correlate? Like, I don't know what theirs are, because I'm not in this list, so I'm just curious.
I'm a fire. Let me write this down, and I'm actually gonna come back with answers next episode. Let me break out a pen. Yes, because for research purposes, I do want to know this. Let me get everybody's birthdays, because I know that Mike is not qualified to give me the right zodiac sign. He's guessing. I know this. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
I feel like I'm 60% sure I'm a Cancer, but I could be completely wrong.
Give me your birthday.
July 18th.
Yeah. Yes, you are a Cancer.
I am. Okay. Well,
yeah. I used to be friends with a girl whose birthday that was. She was wild.
Oh, okay. It's the same birthday as Nelson Mandela, so I feel blessed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, lads.
Oh, what?
I already know that. David.
Yeah. No, I'm a Leo.
I'm Scorpio.
Oh, November.
I'm definitely Scorpio.
Blair.
Knowing what I know.
Curious.
Okay, all right. I'll come back with research. I'll go look up Matt's business. He's famous now, so I'm sure it'll be on the internet for me momentarily.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's like any like through line there in terms of like with the similarities and stuff. Because I feel like for the people who hate me online, in real life, talk to anyone who knows me. I have like really no enemies. Like even coworkers, like I'm cool with all of them. Like I feel like I just kind of get along with everyone, which is weird because I'm very opinionated online and whatnot. But like I'm believe it or not, folks. Okay, haters, I'm a chill person.
I'm a polarizing character. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm one of those people that like you feel saliently about. Like you either really fuck with me or you cannot stand my black ass. And there's no in between. It has always been like that. Like a lot of people, like most of people will really love me, but the couple of people who don't fuck with me, boy, don't they fuck with me. I remember I had a sorority sister in college tweet out when I was like winning a bunch of awards and everybody was, gassing me. She was like, she tweeted out, the bitch tweeted out. That's why she don't like me. She tweeted. She said, "Oh my God, I almost rolled my eyes so hard I went fucking blind." Like, I was like, God damn, I'm talking about you don't fucking like me. Listen, a whole lot of people can't stand my black ass. They just, but you know what's funny? You would think about in a world, I feel like before you get like visibility or whatever, a lot of people know you. You think that like people who don't like you are going to be like this big problem and people want to talk stories, but people are such social climbers and clout chasers and wanting to be adjacent to anybody they perceive as visible. People who do not fucking like you, they know they hate your guts. They've hated you their entire life, perpetrate like they like you now. They'll be like,
wait, that's happening to you? Are you getting like reached out?
All the time.
By people like, you're famous now. I saw you on the Hill and stuff. Or wait.
Yes,
wow, that's crazy. No, I haven't had that yet. No.
Oh, I have that all the time. Like the minute, like John, like after John, I swear to you, when John Oliver happened, I found out before I saw it or knew I was on it because people were messaging me. People I went to school and I lived in Florida for 1 year. I almost have like nobody from there that I speak to. people who never talk to me, not just like, oh, they haven't talked to me in a long time. They didn't talk to me then. They've been on my social media for 15 years. There's no interaction between us. They message like, hey, just saw you in John Oliver. Did you know I live in New York City? You want to get a coffee? I swear to God. Like, I swear to you, people who don't fucking like me, a girl who could not stand me messaged me, and she was like, oh, would you like, I saw you in the Breakfast Club. I see you doing a lot of big things. Would you like to go to dinner? Bitch, what? Somebody from my law school who don't like me invited me to a standing card game. Standing! That means we graduated years ago. It's been years they do the fucking card game. They don't invite
Wait,
me.
what do you mean standing? As in you literally stand and play cards together?
Look at you, Lance. No, as in like they do the card game regularly.
Oh,
like
okay.
A standing obligation.
It's a new term to me. Okay, I don't play a lot of cards. I'm not a
I
gambler.
was thinking like Lance, to be honest. You stand and play cards?
I'm with you, Ole. I had literally one of my high school bullies. Like, this dude was mean to me. He would pants me in the hallways in school. I got eggs thrown at me and shit. And when the channel, I think it had to have been, I think last year, 2021. And I get a DM on Instagram saying, oh, you're doing so great and blah, 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 blah. How's life been for you? And I was like, and block.
That's how they be.
Wow.
That's how they be.
Go away.
That's how they be.
You make
That's
my
so
life hell.
weird.
That's how they give it up. It's very, very shameless. I went on a first date with a guy. He was the most miserable curmudgeon. Can we talk about?
I love that word.
Yo,
I love that
the
word.
amount of. Listen, at least 5 men
Underused.
who ghosted me like 6 years ago, bro.
They all
Like
cut the
6
woodwork.
years ago. And messaging me like, oh, I see you. Everybody going to jump. Like, how not? You can, the last message in this chat is 6 years ago where they fucking, I'm like, you not ashamed? Like, a man who's not, yo, I remember it was the most miserable, this man was the most miserable Ebenezer Scrooge ass man I ever, like, it was like Christmas, bro, and he was like gangbanged on Christmas, he hate Christmas. He's like, oh, Christmas, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, he's at the place talking big shit. That man was mean to me the whole day, fucking deleted me on social media after that, never talked to me anything, sees me in fucking DL Hughley's page and asks me like, whoa, Mr. Lauren doing big things. I'm like, I know, fucking lying. The amount of times I see somebody will tag me something like, my good sis, my good friend, my friend. I don't know you.
That's so funny.
Wow.
I be like, are y'all not fucking embarrassed? Like, I be in this house, like, I understand what Mike Jones was talking about. Like, I'm like, back then, these, like, what is this? That's crazy. People are shameless.
You're gonna get that song stuck in my head now. God damn it! It was stuck in my head last month for some reason.
Listen, all the time I'm in my house, 281-330-8001. Every time I talk shit, I'm like,
Did you try to call the number when he first popped up?
now you know this.
I did.
Absolutely. You knows this. I used to try to call every number that they had and the stuff. You can, at one point I was convinced, I was so obsessed with the lost city of Atlantis, like I just knew I could follow the instructions Ariel talking about to find it. I'm like, this is the Bahamas, we have Atlantis, it's definitely here. I got this. I'm a fine founder in them. Like, and I was on a quest, my guy. I used to do so much bullshit. One time I convinced all the neighborhood children to like build a fort. Like let's be like I think it's my big sister actually. My big sister used to do this thing where she convinced everybody she was a witch, and she convinced all the neighborhood children that if they did 100 good deeds, that they would become a witch too. And so she had turned the entire neighborhood into little child slaves, everybody, and she would never let you get to 100 deeds. She would reset you all the time. And what she would do at night to convince everybody, there was like a secret door in our closet in my room that we didn't know about, me and my sisters. And so she would go through that at night, and we would think she went to the other witch world. She'd come back. That bitch would sleep in the fucking secret crack in the closet. That's how fucking committed she was to this. Come out in the morning talking to you about how she was off with her husband Gohan and blah, 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 and this and the next thing. And so you're like, yeah. Now she's got an army of child slaves digging a giant fucking hole in my daddy's backyard. That's my youth. That's my
Sounds fun though. I don't know.
She's so, to this day, she's tickled. She will just like randomly call us. She'll be at work, like laughing about it to her coworkers, and call us and be like, yummy. Tell them how I used to have y'all working for me. And I'm like, So yes, that is true. She did pull that off. That was a thing she did to us for years on end. For years, she got it off for years. And then when my sister Doon tried to lead a coup, my sister Doon was like, "No!" Like the children drops the shovel. Like it's not real. She's not a fucking witch. I'm telling y'all, she's a bitch. Y'all are bamboozled. my big sister beat her up. Like okay, like now you have to be disciplined. We have to make an example of you. You are just trying to lead a fucking coup. So. My big sister did not fuck around, and she was fast too. If you try to run, she was like terrifyingly fast, like so fast.
What?
I remember one time we used to call her. She goes by we call her Bim, but she goes by Abby out in the world. So this is back when Facebook had a Facebook graffiti wall. You remember you used to be able to draw on the Facebook.
Oh my god.
Yes. So me and my sister are in the room and we draw on her Facebook graffiti. She had fallen off the chair earlier that day. It was so funny. So I draw a picture of her falling off the chair and it says, "Not I be a beast." like she gets so fucking upset. Yo, we like run out the house and we think like we go running. She's like chasing us from the house and we go running down the neighborhood and we're like all the way around the roundabout. We're good. So we start walking. You don't understand. She sounded like all you hear is poof, 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 poof. And when I think we turn around, I'm like, you can be fast enough. She fucking cool. Like when I say she clashed us together, like bitches drag us back to this fucking house. Listen, my big sister did not fuck around. She was a terrorist.
I want you kind of need to bring her on the show because I kind of want to meet her now.
I will. If y'all want me to, I'll bring them. She loved that. I will bring her.
That's
She was
crazy.
she was a mess.
That's awesome.
This is a complete and super sidebar. Does anyone know, because Elon Musk just tweeted as of 22 seconds ago, and he's trying to justify the banning of Binder and everyone by saying they posted my exact address and location. Like, quote, they posted my exact real-time location, basically assassination coordinates, in obvious direct violation of the Twitter terms of service. That he just posted this as of like 30 seconds ago. That's nonsense, right? Like
That's a
Matt didn't
complete
even
fucking lie.
Yeah, Matt didn't even share
That's a
the
complete
link.
Fucking lie.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, he's banned Mastodon. Like, so obviously this isn't about that. Like,
Yeah.
you can't link your Mastodon account on Twitter. It doesn't let you. Like, this is
You can
No.
link your Gab.
Crazy. That's really
Probably.
fucking crazy.
You can.
What's Gab?
I think
It's
It's
another
like-
right wing Twitter.
That's the
it's all
alternative, yeah.
shame.
Filled with
Basically,
alt-righters, Nazis, white supremacists, white nationalists, Christian fascists, Christian nationalists, neo-reactionaries, all of the fun people.
Bunch of losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stochastic terrorist libs of TikTok tweeted out, "It's funny seeing the libs panic over their friends getting suspended. They're finally getting a taste of what conservatives have lived through for years."
As I
Says a
fucking-
bitch running a massive hate fucking page on
Yeah.
every fucking platform unchecked.
Yeah. Why don't you post another hospital address and then like, oh shit, they got a bomb threat? Oh, all the doctors got bomb threats? Oh, fucking all the teachers are now getting death threats? What's happening? Well, oopsie. Yeah, doing it
like
again.
random teachers. Like
Yeah.
private
Yeah.
citizens. Like,
Mhm.
fucking disgusting.
God.
There's no comparison. Like, if there's any complaints about, people on the right getting banned, it's almost always because they actually did some serious shit.
Yeah.
Actually
Really
breaks
fucked up shit.
the actual rules. Not like
fine.
random, like, oh, you're banned because we can't tell you why you're banned. You're just banned now permanently. Like, it's so fucking ridiculous.
That's crazy. Like, that's really fucked up. Honestly, I wonder what legal remedy they have, if any. Like, that's not my area of law, but I feel like looking into that because there ain't no fucking way. Like, people build, like, obviously Twitter plays into tremendously people's careers, people's profit, people's this, people build this, and these arbitrary levels of these were not the fucking terms of the terms of service haven't been violated, and you are actually affecting people's revenue stream, XYZ. I feel like they probably have something they can get real litigious about. And if it were me, we gotta sue, baby. I'm upset.
All right. Well, let me get some questions because we still have a lot of questions, and I know we've gone off the rails tonight, which is good.
Didn't someone have to,
addresses
sorry to
progressive-
interrupt you, didn't someone have to be somewhere too? I just want to make sure that
Oh,
I'm
I am probably gonna
careful
jump
of
off
this.
in like 10 minutes or so because I gotta
Okay.
finish shoveling snow.
All right,
Oh
let's-
yeah, you were the
let's do
731.
some easy stuff.
That was
Yeah.
me originally.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
My plans got changed.
Yeah,
My
oh,
plans
yeah.
got changed.
You canceled your plans to our leftist mafia.
So we got asked, is Vosh not in good standing with the leftist mafia?
Who?
He was on the last thing. Or sorry, he was on the election panel. He didn't say much because he was so fucking shit faced. The guy was like slurring half of his speech, but he was on our election panel.
Yeah, I love Vosh.
He was there.
I don't know who that is.
He was on. You did a stream with him. He was just so shit faced, and he couldn't speak English.
I didn't.
I don't think
time.
you were on.
No, him. Oh, were you gone at the time? Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, he was fucking
Twitter?
sloshed.
I was. Yeah, that's wild.
So yeah, I'd say he's in good standing. He's just doing his own thing.
So.
Maybe we'll guess in the future, though. We've kind of talked about it for those who are wondering, but you know, I think for the first few episodes, it's probably important that we kind of establish our own little thing first, and then bring on other people.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Let's see here. The constructive criticism says this isn't really a question, but I want to say I love your content. Keep up the great work. There you go.
Aw.
Feel good.
That's not really constructive criticism. Thank you so much.
I think that was their name.
Yeah, I know.
So this person, Nate, says not a question, but a suggestion. I think you guys should make a list of the craziest events that happened this year and talk about it on the next episode.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Wrap up of 2022.
I already edited and pre-published a video to my YouTube channel titled 2022 in 10 minutes, all the biggest stories in lefty media. So maybe I can share that link ahead of time with people. It's scheduled to go live on the 29th of this month, so it's available for patrons now. But yeah, I can maybe share that ahead of time.
Yeah.
No, I think that's dope.
This one is I guess a comment/compliment for Ole. Just want to say, this comes from Shay. They say, I just want to say hi. You are my favorite to follow on Twitter before I left. So happy to see you on Rising and Breakfast Club. Great to see you on Twitch.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
I'm trying to run through some quick ones here. Let's see this. Kala's Cats, parentheses Serfs, aka Giga Stacy, parentheses Bird app. For some people, I don't know.
I will.
They say lots of indicators, so I'm assuming someone knows. They say, if I build an effigy of Elon and burn it for my pagan winter solstice Yule celebration, film it, upload it to Twitter, get banned, and sue Elon for violating my freedom of religious expression, will everyone on the panel and in their chats go to Burning Man with me if I pay with Elon's money?
Lance looks like he does not want to be there. Lance was like, I don't want to say no.
I mean, maybe.
While I have you here, someone in the chat on last episode, when I was telling y'all about TJ Holmes and his affair, someone said we should have tea time with Ole as a segment, and I definitely want that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was like, that's a great idea. I would love to have it, and I would like to talk shit about random pop culture things.
I like ideas.
Also, we didn't we have to do Lances consistently. We've done it every episode. We have to cancel and uncancel somebody.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Cancel.
We uncanceled you, I thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And maybe we should cancel Matt Binder so it brings more attention to him.
True.
All right, Matt Binder is officially canceled.
Yeah, dude, do a cancellation of love. Matt Binder's canceled.
Yep. And are we uncanceling Elon then? Conversely, since we're canceling.
No.
Elon motherfucker stays canceled.
He's not canceled. He's fucking deleted.
Yeah.
Just like Matt Binder's Twitter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hashtag free Binder.
Hashtag free Binder.
Everyone, go tweet hashtag free Binder. I know you're watching on multiple streams. Let's get that trending.
Hashtag free Binder.
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, and hashtag Leftist Mafia.
Yeah.
That way you know from.
Yeah.
And join his Patreon.
Yes,
exactly.
Patreon.com/Matt Binder.
Yes.
Help the man out.
And it's Substack, missinfo.substack.com.
Oh yeah, everyone, shout outs. Do your thing. Your people. We do things.
Mike.
I am Mike Figueredo, host of the Humanist Report. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter for now. Next week, I'll check back in. And new videos Monday through Friday on my show. Twitch highlights on the weekends. Yeah, go subscribe to me, folks.
David.
Hey, I am David Dole. I host The Rational National on YouTube. I am sometimes on Twitch as well, playing games on there and just talking shit. So follow me on there as well under the same title, The Rational National. Also on Twitter for now, at David Dole, Doel. You see the name right there in the corner. There you go.
Lance.
You can find me everywhere. Social media is sold at the Serfs TV. At the Serfs TV. Super easy.
Yeah, you can find me on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Miss O'Lurin. That's MSOLURIN. And subscribe to my Substack, O'Lurinati, where I drop essays. And yeah, and y'all should let me know if I should start like a call in. I feel like that would be fun, or a Twitch or something. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if I should do that. I feel like that'd be cool.
Twitch would
And
be awesome.
Blair, right? Yeah, I feel like that'd be cool.
I
It'd
agree.
make my Instagram stories less long.
All right, hey everyone, I'm Blair, the Illuminati. Which, by the way, I've seen some of the chats. Y'all are spelling it Blaire. I am not Blair White. It's
How
Blair.
dare they?
Ooh, that's a mean mix-up.
That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
it is.
Yeah.
Someone once commented on my YouTube channel and was like, "Oh, Blair White, what kind of pivot do you think this is? You think you can hide on this channel behind this pyramid figure?" And I was like,
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Listen
I don't know who
here.
Blair White is.
"Listen here, other people are allowed to have that name first of all, so leave me alone." But yeah, anyway, Illuminati everywhere you go. Twitter, I'll probably be fine because I'm not verified, so I get to hide in the shadows there on Twitter. YouTube, obviously, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I'm there. Cool. All right, this is a good show, guys. A lot of
fun.
craziness tonight. Always great to chat with everybody. And we will see y'all next week at, are we doing 5:30 Pacific?
8:30, yeah. Our normal 8:30.
Yeah, back to
Eastern.
the normal schedule.
Yeah, back to the
Oh,
normal
nice.
schedule.
The
Maybe
night
we're
show
an
when
hour
everyone gets
early.
wild.
Yeah,
turned
the
up.
night show.
Yeah. I'll be traveling, so I might be a little bit late, but I also might be tipsy.
Yeah, you'll just show up. You'll show up. You'll come in hot.
Yeah, coming in hot.
I might be in the Bahamas, but whatever. I'll be there.
Nice.
Nice.
Even better.
That sounds
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, everyone,
you know.
have a
It's home.
fabulous night. It was always great to chat with y'all. It was such a pleasure. And,
Bye, everybody.
see you next week.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care, folks.
Bye.
Well, that was fun and a wild night because holy shit, it's the Purge, y'all. The Purge is happening right now, live.
Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства? Кокаином.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arnie, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Inkosim, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.